A new season brings new opportunity. And with the off-season in the rear view, today we get our first taste in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
It's a special place, a special day.
The excitement of everything you've worked for is to get to Daytona. That time is here. What are you going to do with it?
Some familiar faces are back and look to leave their mark on the sport's most prestigious track.
First victory for Noah Gragson.
When you're running good, that's when you're having fun.
Others are just trying to make a name for themselves.
It's going to be crazy. I'm just excited to go after it.
While two of the best bring the heat in the booth. Strap in and get ready. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona is next.
Fox NASCAR is live at the World Center of Racing. Welcome to the Beef. It's What's for Dinner 300 on FS1. We told you going to break, Austin Cindric starts this race on the pole. He is the reigning champion, and boy, did he get it done in dramatic fashion. Late restart in November at Phoenix. He came through the field, got the lead, took the checkered flag, and had a huge celebration in the desert. We look now at the starting grid. It's brought to you by Beef. It's What's for Dinner. 300 miles tonight from Daytona. And now we go from the driver's seat with the driver of the 22.
Style them up, boys. Austin Cindric, Spory up in the booth. You got me? Uh-oh. Austin Cindric, it's Spory up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing better now. You answered. All right, Hot Rod, this is your chance. Starting on the pole. Never. The boss man has never won an Xfinity race at Daytona. How are you going to lead this baby and make that happen for him today?
Well, it's just the thing. We got to lead it. We got to lead it on the most important lap. Obviously, no qualifying today. Wish we would have been able to showcase the speed we got in our Verizon 5 G4 Mustang, but no, it should be a fun race today. Great to get the season started in Daytona, and lot to learn. See who's fast, and try and be there at the end.
All right, buddy. Well, hope you put on a show. We're going to be watching. It's going to be exciting. Congratulations on making your first Daytona 500. No pressure. Go out there and do your thing, man.
Yeah, man. Much appreciated. Enjoy the race.
It does blow me away that Team Penske has never won here in the Xfinity Series.
Crazy.
And what makes that even more hard to believe is the numbers we're going to show you now. What Colleague Racing has done here, and really overall super speedway racing. They've won 4 of the last 5, 2 of the last 3 here at Daytona. And the man in the middle, Justin Haley, he's on a 3-race win streak when it comes to super speedways. So Tony and Clint, I take the Colleague guys. I got Jeb Burton, I got A.J. Allmendinger, and Justin Haley. You guys get the field. Is that fair?
I'm going to take the cat I just talked to, Austin Cindric. You're not going to keep Roger Penske out of victory lane at Daytona for long. It's going to happen today.
I like our Monster Energy 98 with Riley Herbst. This kid is hungry. It's been exciting to talk to him in the offseason, and he knows after watching his teammate win 9 races in this car last year, he knows he's got a lot to prove. So I'm going to follow that 98 car all day.
Dang it. I forgot he's got a dog in the fight here.
Hey, but how about this, Tony? He's trying to do something here that you did on 7 different occasions. There was a period where you won this season-opening Xfinity race 7 times in 9 campaigns. Your numbers here are remarkable. What's the key to success in this race?
Being in the right place at the right time and finding the right partner. So once you had a good enough car to get up and show some strength, all those guys wanted to be with the fast car. So if you can show some strength early in this race, I think you're going to see a lot of guys line up with that car and push that car to the front.
Apparently you're not looking at this graphic that I'm looking at because you got that figured out. I think I'm struggling. What'd I get? 1?
Let me add this up.
1. That's all I got right there. I
0.
got to get a little closer so I could see my performance to yours. Yours had a lot more numbers on it. Mine had 0s.
See, that's why I got this condominium to myself. I have the stats to have my own room.
Just so you know, when you're a driver, Tony, goose eggs on the stat sheet, they're really bad in the TV world, okay?
Hey,
exactly.
And Clint is learning that now.
I'm still up here, aren't I?
Hey, it's time to get things going here. And before we go green, let's hear from our pit reporters. And we start off with the guy that claimed the checkers in 2014, Regan Smith. Hey, Regan.
Hey, Adam, and good luck up there trying to keep those guys under control today, by the way. Ty Dillon, one of the most heartbreaking stories of Thursday night's dual races, missed out on the Daytona 500 by 2 feet. He was so close to making it in. Very disappointing there. The consolation for him, though, was knowing that he was going to hop in this 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing today. A Toyota, he's typically in Chevy, something a little bit new for him. A fast ride. He's got 4 races in this car, looking to make the most of it. He told me right before he hopped in it that this ride is what kept him sane this week after missing the Daytona 500. Vince?
Well, it's often said in this sport, the first win to get is the toughest win to get, and no one knows that more than Daniel Hemrick. Through Truck Series, through the Xfinity Series, even a jump up to Cup, he's never won at one of NASCAR's top 3 levels. Back here in the Xfinity Series, 0 for 87. But he's teamed up with crew chief Dave Rogers at Joe Gibbs Racing in this 18 Supra, and Dave Rogers today could not have spoken more highly of Daniel Hemrick. He said, we're going to get a win, and when we get one, we're going to get bunches. Oh, how special it'd be if that first one came at Daytona.
Here's what I like about Hemrick. He's from Kannapolis, North Carolina. There was another guy from Kannapolis that was pretty good at this place.
Yeah, what a wonderful opportunity for him. Great guy, man. I always love his interviews. Way he drives, just a good dude. Hold on a minute. Does he have readers on over there?
I'm cheating, man. I can't see the sheets without them.
Clear on the end of your nose.
We asked Tony to read the race analysis, and he didn't have his glasses on.
Oh,
man, I'm
you
telling
can see
you.
what I'm looking at right now.
It's hell getting old, guys.
Papa Bear over here.
1 to go until we go green here at Daytona. Pins and needles for the season opener if you're a driver?
I think so. I mean, you think of how many young kids are in this field. I mean, when you have young guys, they're aggressive, they're not patient. That's something that's not a virtue for young guys normally. So this could be a race that could be very exciting right out of the box. I don't think you'll see guys, sit there and ride around for 5 or 10 laps and settle in. I think they're going to go for it right away.
You know, Adam, you said it though. You said season. When I think Daytona, this first race of the season down here, season. Don't even think about it. It's all about winning at Daytona. This place is so prestigious, so hard to win, so many things have to go right. It's all about winning here.
Jeb Burton with a new team in 2021. He starts 7th tonight.
I'm going to tell you, go have fun with this thing, man. We couldn't do it without all the people, but have fun with it. This is your year, bud. This is what you waited for all your life. Be aggressive, aggressively smart. Have fun down there, guys. Thanks, man.
Man, I tell you what, he's got Brett Griffin for a spotter. That was my old spotter. I mean, it took a special spotter for me, right? I hope he's going to hear a lot. I can promise you that.
And that's the thing. You got to be comfortable with that spotter, too, because this is the only guy. This is the guy that is your eyes for 270 degrees around the race car. You've got what you see in front of you, but you have to rely on that spotter, and you have to have more so the confidence to believe in what he's saying. When he says you can move, you got to move right away.
Yeah, when he says clear, make sure he didn't say near.
And you talk about extending your career. Brett Griffin was working with you, and now he's working with Jeb Burton. As calm as he is, he'll be around forever.
Jeb's in trouble. That's all I got to say. Here we go, boys.
Pace car is heading down the pit lane. You can't beat race day here at Daytona. Front row, Austin Cindric takes the outside lane to his left. Justin Allgaier, 2021 is underway in the Xfinity Series.
Cindric obviously taking that outside line, so he's got that Ford horsepower behind him. Didn't necessarily work the best right there, Tony. They got pushed out there quite a bit.
And that's the hard part. It's so easy to get away if you're that front row and you get that good push off the line. It's actually a disadvantage because you get out away from everything, then you have that big gap that slows you down. But now you see the 98 car that's caught up to him. Now they're going to get that push and get that run going.
Tell you who didn't get the push in the run. Noah Gragson right there. Caught in the middle, 3 wide. He's headed to the rear.
Surprising. He's really good at this style of racing. Won the season opener a year ago, did Gregson, and nearly raced his way in to the Daytona 500 on Thursday night.
He was probably surprised that he didn't get the push. If you want to talk surprises.
Mention those two Fords in the outside lane. Cindric and Herbst right behind him. A couple of Toyotas from Joe Gibbs Racing. We've got the best pictures on Fox, and there they go, headed to turn 3. That's a nice drone picture from the back straightaway.
You know, with such limited practice down here in Daytona, this is still the first time you really truly get that communication down pat with your crew, with your spotter up top. You hear him talk, and you got to get that lingo down. You see this 3 wide, that's where it's important, especially off of turn 4 where their vantage point is not it's not the best.
That's a net in the 1. I mean, is it possible? Well, maybe not. I thought maybe he went to the outside by design, trying to drop to the rear to stay out of the middle of the mess, but now he's picked up some drafting help. It's the 51 of Jeremy Clements trapped in the middle.
Look at the Chevys pushing by them Fords right there for the lead. Justin Allgaier.
The crazy thing is, look how Clements is actually able by himself to maintain position there. Normally it's a death sentence. You get shuffled right to the back through the middle like that. He was actually able to hold on pretty good by himself there.
First couple of laps led by Austin Cindric from the pole. Inside lane making up some ground now. Chevy's working together. Justin Haley pushing the other Justin. That's Allgaier leading lap number 3.
And we're not really seeing a line that's dominant yet. Normally, a couple laps into it, they start sorting out, and there's normally one line or the other, either the inside or outside, that does show dominance, and you'll see everybody start gravitating that way. But this has been pretty even. It's kind of accordion back and forth as far as whether it's the 7 car, the 22 car, just whoever gets that push. But nobody's really going anywhere yet. It's not like there's a pattern yet.
On the Cup side in those dual races, Tony, Thursday, it seemed like it took somewhere around that lap 10 mark for cars to start. Oh, you got smoke right there. And
that's Alex Labbe in the 36. He's a Canadian known for his road racing ability, driving for Mario Goslin, and that will bring out our first caution. It happens at lap 5.
Did a great job keeping that thing pointed the right direction and out of the wall.
It was an excellent save for sure. I mean, there were a lot of things that could have went wrong right there.
Was running 17th when he got out of shape.
Man,
all by himself.
It just shows you the difference in what that air does to those cars, in particular off the corner. Sometimes you'll have a lot of wheel in it. Sometimes you just never know. Got loose and spun around.
Early caution at Daytona for Alex Labbe. Justin Allgaier scored as the race leader. Under caution, 5 laps in to the Beef. It's What's for Dinner 300 from Daytona International Speedway. It's the season opener for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Drive always, discover possibility. Goodyear, more driven. And an early pit stop for Noah Gragson, Regan.
Well, that's right, Adam. And this team had some issues yesterday in practice. They rubbed through the splitter, wanted to come in and check things over. You see him changing left side tires. I believe this may be a play for later in the race. I know it's early to be talking like that, but certainly a little bit unexpected for them to pit right now.
It is crazy to me how strategy plays a big role in these speedway races, but I look at the numbers. You can go north of 40 laps on fuel, so maybe they are playing a little game here to get ahead for later on, and Alex Labbe is back down the pit lane after spinning to bring out the caution.
I think there was more than just strategy involved there. If you watch that wedge wrench in the right side window, that guy's arm's going to be sore if he has to do that 2 or 3 more times during the day.
Well, and he did drop to the rear, which would make sense that perhaps he was fighting something in the race car, and they said, let's get this buttoned up right now. And Dave Ellens, his crew chief, he understands success at Daytona. 4 wins here with 4 different drivers. Tony Stewart not on that list, though, because you never drove for him. I'm sure that's the only reason.
I just couldn't get the right opportunity to get the drive.
Is the early caution good? I mean, you've been off for a couple of months and limited practice yesterday, a chance for these drivers to reset and refocus?
Yeah, for everybody except for the 36. What they're getting
trust me, he's trying to reset himself right now more than he's worried about resetting that car.
Yeah, everybody else was doing exactly what he said, resetting, getting a little splash of water, getting ready to go again. But honestly, you go through practice down here, and it's single file. You know, usually team orders, maybe just your organization, maybe a manufacturer or something, a quick little adjustment here or there, and it's done. That's the only practice you get. You come down here and you get them 2 and 3 wide. You're looking around, you're listening to your spotters. A whole different game.
Look there at Brandon Jones coming off a career season. Driver out of Atlanta, Georgia. Inside, second row, Justin Haley. Won here in August. Let's listen in on the restart.
Three-quarter behind you, 1 behind you, the 10 and a 1 to the 8. Top lane is more bumper to bumper than you guys, still out there, still half behind. Still half behind. Nothing ahead of the 7, the 22 stays top lane, still half behind. Tight with you. 10's tight with you, then the 8, then the 2. Still nothing ahead of the 7. Half behind. Just 2 wide at your quarter out there.
Listening to spotter Kevin Hamlin walking Justin Haley through this restart.
And what a great spotter Kevin is, and that's exactly what you want to hear. I mean, you're basically 2 wide right there, but it's just so much communication, talking about that push behind, talking about what's happened underneath on the outside. You know, just talk. That's what I always used to tell Brett. I'll listen, you know, I'll hear you. I just might not listen to you. That's the biggest thing I want to hear.
Since when do you listen?
No. I said I'll hear you up there. I just may not listen every time.
You said talk.
I had to change I know what I said. I had to change it.
That's what Gordon and Mike Joy told me about you in the booth this week.
But the other thing to keep in mind, it's not only the words that the spotters are saying. Did you hear his demeanor and how calm he is in the message that he's delivering? If the spotter's calm, it helps keep the driver calm.
Wait a minute. But if he gets wound up, pull the belts down tight. You're going to need him. If his voice gets high pitched, you're fixing to hit hard.
Working lap 10 so far. Outside lane has belonged to the Fords. Inside has been all about those Chevrolets. Let's listen to Justin Haley.
Brett Moffitt, dog, he's a wheel man. Come on. It's so good to hear your voice again. Somebody thinks so. My wife tried all winter to get me to shut up. Yeah, I think we all have that problem, though.
Alex Yantz, crew chief for Justin Haley, and Chris Rice, who's the team director over there. He talks more trash on the radio than anybody in the Xfinity garage, you know?
He's the team mascot, rah-rah guy. He is always full of enthusiasm, which is, it's so much fun. It's such a breath of fresh air to have that as a guy that's running your race team. You know, he exudes all the way through the team, from the driver to the crew chief. Everybody just relaxes everybody in such a tense situation like Daytona is.
I think we've got a situation that'll be worth watching here. You watch Noah Gragson and Ty Dillon lined up together. These are two veterans that know what they're doing in this scenario. When you get two veterans like that, these guys can, if Noah goes somewhere, I think Ty's going to go with him and vice versa. I think these guys have the confidence in each other, and they've both been on the racetrack this week, so these guys already feel comfortable, settled in. They can make something happen here shortly.
And we've got a second caution. And I hear it's for Josh Williams in the 92, and there he is sitting idle. He had trouble yesterday, didn't get any practice, flat left rear. He's the teammate to Alex Labbe. What's going on with all these vehicles for Mario Gosselin? Early troubles for both these guys.
Yeah, fender rub, something. I mean, you just never know. Look at that.
1/3 of the way home in our opening stage. Austin Cindric, Allgaier, Herbst, Haley, Jones, your top 5 from Daytona.
A lot of the reason why I've come back full time is to try to help keep growing Kaulig racing. I want to be a part of that.
Got nothing to lose.
I mean, and truly that's what it is. It's to go out there and just run every lap like it could be my last. Never know, it might be. There's nothing to lose. Like, go enjoy this and have fun.
Forever, he was known as a road racer. Won at the Cup level at Watkins Glen, now full-time in the Xfinity Series. And oh, by the way, a bunch of road course events on the schedule. That spells really good things for he and this race team, Tony.
Yeah, it really does. And AJ's a great road racer, but he's also learned how to be a really good oval driver as well. And he's a lot of fun to watch. So he's a guy that I think will be really up front all year.
What we're seeing right here, Tony?
So Allmendinger waving to let Austin know when he's taken off. You know, that's something that you do, and it's very, very key to actually do that hand movement before you actually get in the gas as the leader there, because if you go when you push your fingers forward, you've already left that guy.
That's the key. You kind of want to feel them hit your bumper and start leaning on them where they got the gas on, and then you say, all right, boy, let's go. You know, if you take off ahead of him, he's going to hit you and just bounce you out of there and you'll be gone, and effectively you get down to turn 1 and get butt past.
A number of drivers making pit stops under this, our second caution. And I threw out the idea of strategy earlier, and Tony refuted that because he said the guy that went over the wall had carpal tunnel from using the wedge wrench there. I'm going to tell you here, I think this is a strategy play because the fuel window is open to get to the end of stage 2. So you come here and you can be sitting pretty with that track position as we head to that second stint of the race.
A lot of time them old cars go faster when the wedge wrench is in there too, huh?
Yeah.
Especially at these tracks.
What do you have, Vince?
Well, you know, it's interesting what a learning experience this is for some drivers. Josh Berry in the 8 car for Junior Motorsports, a late model star for Junior, but this is his first time at a super speedway, and he told me before the race, he said, I'm really looking forward to getting out there and getting a feel for it because I don't know what to expect. At one point, he told spotter Tab Boyd, I'm just trying to figure out what clear looks like in my rearview mirror. And Tab has also explained how a car outside him can drag him back. So a lot of learning going on for some of these drivers, hoping that they can learn and stay in position and keep themselves in a position to maybe do something big at the end.
But he's learning from the best. You know, what an opportunity for him. Late model stars won everything for Dale and everybody at Junior Motorsports. This opportunity, he's got to find that teammate, lean on Tab Boyd, phenomenal experienced spotter. I wouldn't count him out by the end of this thing.
And if you can learn these lessons early about how a car beside you can pull you back, you also can learn how you can get beside somebody and it can pull you forward. So if he can learn these lessons early enough in this race, then he can apply it later.
Both lines are locked up good here.
Be interesting to see how these first 2 rows now they've swapped sides. It's the first time they've been on opposite sides of each other, so it'll be interesting to see how the lines develop and if we see a line that picks up more than the other.
What kind of an adjustment is that? When you're used to restarting outside, and then you flip-flop and you go to the inside or vice versa, does it have a different feel for you?
As long as you've got, you know, your teammate, your ally, that's so important. Knowing you've got a guy behind you that's just not going to spit you out, because honestly, he could at will when he wants to.
A.J. Allmendinger, one of those drivers that made a pit stop. Look at the 16 rally. Nearly won this race in August after starting 34th. 31st is where he rolled off the day, and he's working on a spot in the top 10.
Well, you knew those Kaulig cars are going to find their way to the front. More importantly, they got to find each other so they can stay up front.
We touched on him earlier, but Tony, the 54 of Ty Dillon. First race for Joe Gibbs Racing. And he looks like a veteran, slowly and methodically working his way up toward that front row.
Yeah, and this is his race for this weekend. I mean, this is all he's got left, so all of his eggs are in this basket. He has something to prove and wants to show these guys that he deserved to be in that show for tomorrow as well.
And I can tell you, there's something to be said about the group, you know, that he's been with. Racing in that Cup Series, you're learning that is rubbing off on you, and it will show in this Xfinity Series. That's not taking anything away from these guys. It's another level, and I'm telling you, he will shine in this race, especially in the equipment that he's in.
Yeah, it's experience. It's just seat time and experience, and the more laps that he has over these young kids, he has so much more knowledge than a lot of these guys have already. That's just more tools in his bag that he has during the race to use and know what scenarios to be in, what scenarios to stay away from as well.
I asked him about that yesterday. New kid on the block. Do you feel like the leader? He said, absolutely. With my experience, I need to come in and help these young guys. Teammate Daniel Hemrick right in front of him, driving the 18. Vince talked about him before we went green.
And they've worked well together. You know, they've worked before together. RCR, those guys know each other and have a communication line down. I promise you, there's a reason that those two are together right there.
We talked about seeing what these lines were going to look like after a couple laps. This is the first time that you've seen 2 cars actually get out ahead of anybody when we swap and got those Fords on the bottom like that. And when you ask if there's a difference, there really is, because when you're on the bottom, you're pinned down to the bottom. You have, you look at the corners and how symmetrical they are. It's tight on the exit. You have to hold that car on the exit of the corner. So the guys on the outside tend to have a lot more room to work with, but now
you said work with.
Yeah,
they just
so much for working with each other.
Now they're racing. Oh, they might still be working with one another.
There's your guy, Tony. 98 out front. Riley Herbst not afraid to make a move on Cindric.
And I like how he did that, too. He got to the lead and then got back up with Cindric.
It worked out that way.
Yes. Yeah, I guarantee that wasn't the plan, but that was the end result, which was good.
The plan was I'm going to the front. I'm going to take advantage of this run right here, move back down, going to the front, baby. Hey, wait a minute. I could still make this look like I stood at Cindric.
He's from Vegas. Are you saying there might have been a little luck in that move,
I've
Clint?
been gambling, huh? Never know.
How about that kid out front, Vince?
Well, and it's interesting because he's got one of the best spotters in the business as well, Tim Fedewa up on the roof. And Tim was coaching Riley through each of those moves, up and then down, back up, now go underneath. Now you got him clear. It was quite well choreographed from up on the roof, and Riley Herbst executed it perfectly.
I would say Tim Fedewa is a decent spotter. 9 wins last year in Xfinity with Briscoe, 9 at the Cup level with Kevin Harvick, and his driver is out front today. Under caution again. Let's get pit stops, Vince.
Back here at Daytona, you see the 10 of Jeb Burton just been a little bit too loose. They're making a significant tire or a chassis adjustment along with tires, and Regan Smith is at the head of pit road.
Haley also hit pit road right here. That race car has been pretty good for him, just working on timing out his runs with the draft right now.
And our third caution of the day, courtesy of Josh Williams, who had another issue on track. The Daytona 500 is your chance to win $25,000 of Clint's money with the Fox Bet Super 6 app. It's easy. Just download the app and pick the finishing position of 6 drivers by tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern for your shot to win. It's free to play. Don't miss out and play now. I don't know what you were paying Clint to drive the race car, Smoke, but evidently it wasn't as much as Fox is paying him because he's giving away thousands every week.
Well, I want to get in on this. I want to get some of my money back.
I tell you what, there's a stage 2 in there too that's a lot of fun. Make sure you look up that. Another $10,000 in stage 2. I hope you don't get it all there, Smoke.
You come up with these prop bets, or does someone write your script for you?
I'm gonna. If I could, I didn't come up with them this weekend, but if I lose it all, I'm coming up with them next weekend. I'm gonna make them harder.
I want to play in a golf tournament when you've got the hole-in-one for 10 grand.
You don't want to go to a golf tournament with me. It's terrible.
Yeah, it'd probably take a while.
You'll go, but you won't ever remember leaving.
You don't even need your golf clubs, as a matter of fact.
And I'll never go back. Several guys came down pit road there, and we're inside 10 laps to go in the stage. This is going to be an interesting rally here, fellas.
For sure.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting to see guys that have stayed out and have heat in their tires, and their cars may not be driving exactly the way they want, but they want to stay out and try to get themselves the opportunity to get the most stage points they can get, versus guys that just came in, made adjustments, got some tires, and now see if they can charge back through the front.
What's this like for Riley Herbst? He's been the second guy, right, on these restarts. I'm not going to say that's easy, but it's got to be easier than managing the lead on a restart. Education time for this young driver?
I would say Tim Fita was spending a lot of time coaching him through this restart and what to do, what not to do. Like we've seen, you don't want to get too far out as that leader, because if you do, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. So I'm sure he's trying to make sure that he talks him through how to get a good jump, but at the same time not get too far ahead to where he puts himself in a bad spot.
And Tony, you talked about demeanor, on the radio and that tone. And Tim Fita has that tone, and that's where it's so important. You don't get excited, don't over rev the thing, don't blow the tires off of it, make sure that guy's connected to you. That's where that calmness is really going to come through, and a guy like Tim Fita can do that for you.
Sometimes you listen to Tim and you wonder if he's almost about ready to fall asleep. That's how calm he is.
Still with me, buddy?
Yeah. Looking at some of these names in the top 10 for the restart. Brett Moffitt driving the 02 for Our Motorsports, full-time in Camping World Truck Series competition, also here in the Xfinity Series, second year for that group in the 02, and also Colby Howard, young driver out of South Carolina, in the top 10 for the restart. Be fun to watch them, as many have cycled out of the top 10 after those pit stops a moment ago.
Someday I'm going to get a hold of that drone, Tony.
That will be one wrecked drone if you get a hold of it.
Inside lane on the restart, Austin Cindric.
Austin, listening to everything from the 98 there, I believe it was innocent. I was just trying to work on how to manage the two lanes there, so we'll keep working with them. We'll get it ironed out. 10-4. We'll talk about it after the race.
Strike one.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
Spotter more forgiving than the driver in this particular situation. 7 laps to go in the stage as we restart.
1 going. Justin's pushing you. He's 3/4 ahead. He's 3/4 ahead. Still on you. He's 1 ahead of his helper. He's 1 ahead of his helper. Still outside the 02. Right now you're clear. 02 is soft. 7 is not clear yet. 7 is 2 ahead. 2 ahead. The 7's not clear yet. He got pulled off you by 2. 2 back. 2 back. He's going to be pushed through by the bottom lane. You're 2 ahead of the 7. 2 ahead of the 7. 2 ahead of the 7. He's clear. Bottom still tighter right now with 3/4 behind you. Mid lane's a Gibbs car coming 5 rows back. Top is just bubbled out. The 7's still clear. Top's going to get stalled by the 19 right now. 7's washing up. 19 got inside the 7, even behind. Lanes are equal. Top has tighter. 19's air pushed out. Top's tighter on exit. Top's tighter on exit. Still inside. Still inside. Just the 19. Just the 19. Still inside. Still there. Still there. Still there. Bumper. You are clear. He's not. You're clear. He's not. More cars to the top. 5 to go at the line. You're clear. 7's not. Tighter on top. Tighter on top. The 7 is almost clear right here. 7 is clear. 19:54.18 on the bottom. 7's 2 back. He's laid back. He's laid back. He's clear. He's clear.
That's Coleman Presley coaching up Austin Cindric from the spotter stand.
And it's a lot of coaching. One thing that I heard right there, you're clear, he's not. It's so important. Everything formulates in your rearview mirror. So important to know who's still clear. If you make a move, you got to know that he's not, because you don't want to lose your draft and your push. It's very, very important intel.
And that was something I had to learn real early. I would get a big run on somebody. I'd get a big push, and you thought, man, this is going to be my chance to make a move. And then you realize you start out there, and they are nowhere close to behind you, and it is like dropping an anchor as soon as you get beside that other car.
And I know mental strength is not my strong suit, but how much of what he's saying is knowledge versus noise? Because there's a whole lot going on there in that radio.
That was a lot. He really did say a lot, but it was all factual stuff. Obviously, it's factual stuff, but it was all intel that you need to know. And especially when it comes down 5 to go, you wait. As that crunches down, that information is going to be coming at you pretty fast, and you better be paying attention.
And that's information that you cannot see from inside the car. You can see a fraction of it. You can see the car behind you, but you don't see how lines are developing. You don't see how the push is coming. You don't see, once you get that push, if that guy is able to stay with you and if there's a guy behind him to keep pushing him. So those are variables that you have to trust that spotter. And they, at the restrictor plate races in particular, they are in more of control of the car than the driver is at times.
You can't say that, Tony.
I can say that.
The guy's holding the steering wheel and the pedals, for crying out loud.
You would think it is that simple, but it really is in that spotter's hands, because those guys can see the bigger complexion of what's developing and how those pushes and runs are developing.
The difference in philosophy there, Smoke's been retired longer than you. He's given it up. You're still just kind of hanging on, right?
Well, I can tell you, I ain't trusting a spotter out here. It hurts when you hit the wall. I'm gonna listen to the suggestion. I'm gonna make my decision.
And that's the hard part. You can't just strictly rely on the spotter either. I mean, that's a lot of the information, but some of it does have to be gut instinct as well, especially late in the race. When it comes, you get 2 or 3 lines going at the same time, and you see a line that starts to get a push. Sometimes you have to make that call as a driver yourself, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
And a good spotter will react exactly opposite. You know, you're reacting what he's telling you. You make that move, that gut instinct move, and you're going to the inside. He really didn't know you were going to do that. Now it's his turn to react and put you right back in the catbird seat.
That's right.
2 Fords out front. You got Riley Herbst leading Austin Cindric, and right behind them, those Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas. Brandon Jones, Ty Dillon, Daniel Hemrick, Harrison Burton. And with 2 to go in the stage, I say at some point this will get dicey with all these teammates having a chance to work together.
Well, definitely outside line just deteriorated, so it's going to have to come from the, you know where it's coming from. I'd say 3rd, 4th, and 5th are going to be making a move, and 6th, though, by the way, with Harrison Burton. Here they go.
Brandon Jones leading the way. He's got Dillon with him, Hemrick and Burton. That's Harrison.
And it's really interesting that 98 pulled up and made that block without Austin Cindric. So they're going to have a conversation there. You're going to either work together or you're not.
Yeah, but especially when you're trying to get to the end of the stage here and trying to get stage points, it's important. You want to keep those relationships during the race, but at the same time, you can't just give that up. I mean, you could literally in 2 laps go from leading the race to being 10th place and going from 10 points to 1 point on the stage points.
That was close.
Riley was their teammate last year, so maybe he just felt comfortable sliding up in front of that group of drivers in that situation. He's in the outside lane now, getting pushed by those Toyotas. But Brandon Jones leading the inside lane and trying to block up top. This is good as we come back to the green-white checkered flag to end stage 1.
Ty Dillon right there. I tell you, Noah Gragson came up through the field there as well. The junior motorsports cars. I don't think anybody's going to make a move. It's going to be a duel right here.
At the line to win stage 1. Inside, it looked like Brandon Jones, and it was. 19 wins the opening stage. What a finish. I like photo finishes. That's a playoff point, 10 stage points behind Jones. Herbst, Dillon, Cindric, and Gregson were 30 laps in at Daytona. I'm not in that driver fraternity, so when I did all that stuff, I didn't think I'd ever see it again. I'm a little embarrassed right now, I have to be honest. I mean, you're accustomed to that. All the hanger shoot stuff.
Oh, man, I tell you, it's so awkward when you do the hanger shoot now, right? My suit's not fireproof anymore. You're not one of the guys, and you go over there and do, Tony, Jeff and I did ours over on one side, all of my boys, right? They're over there in their cars and there's smoke and there's fun things going on. And I was like, man, this is no helmet anymore. My suit's not fired. It's hard. It's different, Tony. I'm telling you, it's very different.
The hard part was looking at Adam in the car. He looked very, very comfortable in there. And actually, I mean, that one shot, he looked awful excited for being inside of a race car.
Let me tell you, I am really good in a race car when it's sitting still. That is when I am at my best, Tony, and that's why I look comfortable there.
Got to get you in a hot rod somewhere. It's got to happen. It's clearly got to. Oh, look at that. I think I have to.
You'll be down there
too.
tomorrow.
I think. If I don't get fired today, I make it down there tomorrow. I saw it on my schedule.
Tony, did he read his emails at SHR? Because I get the feeling he's not doing that at Fox.
Tony, this TV deal, I'm talking email city.
And I can't imagine all the meetings you guys have, because we used to make him go last on purpose because we know that he can't sit still for more than 5 minutes. So we would on purpose make him go last to torture him, to make him sit through 3 other drivers going through all their information before we let him talk.
Best thing about a Fox Zoom call now is that Clint's on there, and when we're all getting antsy, Clint's gotta go, and then we all get done early.
I'm gonna look into those what do they call them, ear pod things? I need those so I can keep moving and keep doing something in the middle of a Zoom. I'm on to it. I've seen them do it. I've been in a Zoom, ear pods. Look at here, we got some cars pitting, boys.
Brandon Jones won stage 1, and he's leading them down the pit lane. Vince Welch, what's happening?
Well, you'll see the 18 of Daniel Hemrick peel off coming in from the 6th position. You see the wrench in the window, a little bit of a chassis adjustment, a little too tight for Hemrick, so they'll free him up. As far as the 98 of Riley Herbst, he was really frustrated that he didn't win that stage, but the team told him, don't worry, a long way to go, giving him a little security, too sketchy on entry, Regan.
54 of Ty Dillon. That race car just a little bit tight right now. Very strong in his first start for Joe Gibbs Racing so far, though.
See the race off pit road, various strategies playing out here. And for Gregson, who's been down the pit lane a couple of times today, the best of the bunch of those that pitted, +4 for him. Harrison Burton +6. They go no tires. Brandon Jones loses a couple of spots. He took 2 tires there. Won the big stage. Let's visit with him.
I want to hear what Brandon Jones has to say about how he got the lead. Hey, Brandon Jones, it's Tony Stewart in the Fox booth. You got us?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Hey, bud, great move to get the lead there. Do you think you showed your hand a little early for later in the race? And how did you set that thing up on the backstretch like that?
Yeah, I'm going to say I haven't been this confident myself in my entire career, probably at a super speedway. I feel really good about what my guys, Jeff Mender and everybody brought to the racetrack this weekend. Give Nards hopefully a victory lane this afternoon with Jeldwin. They do so much for this race team, and it'd be awesome to pick this thing up with a win. All of our guys are doing a heck of a job working together. I think that's why you see us running so good early. So we're going to keep that momentum going here, and hopefully we pay the favor a little bit.
All right, man. Well, it was a great move to get to the lead and get the win of stage 1. Keep it up, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys.
6-year, full-time in the series. No doubt his best coming a season ago when he won on 3 different occasions. This might not end well. This is me in a race car if it was actually moving. Tomorrow, the best anglers in the world tackle freshwater's hardest fighter. It's the Bassmaster Elite Series live from the St. Johns River. Tomorrow, 8 Eastern on FS1. You can also watch it on the Fox Sports app. Stage 1 complete at Daytona. NASCAR Xfinity Series. Racing for the first time in 2021. It's the Beef It's What's for Dinner 300. And we look at those drivers that collected some stage points. And at the top of the list, Brandon Jones, who won that first stage. And there they are, the
yes,
Thunderbirds.
Sir. Look at that.
You would definitely get maximum stage points if you rode that.
Yeah, like to restart one of them babies.
Just don't fill the bag. You know what I mean?
Look
Vince,
at that.
Let's get a follow-up on pit stops. What do you have, Vince?
Good first stage from Riley Herbst, but he had some issues coming in trying to find the pit box. Not only hearing spotter Tim Fedewa counting down, but also judging the sign and where it was in relation to the end of the pit box.
I struggled seeing that. Yeah, I'm looking for the Las Vegas sign. 10-4 on that.
Your pit sign is the Las Vegas sign. Would you rather your overhead be that?
I saw the claw, but then I couldn't decipher where the pit box was to the claw.
And that's first pit stop of the year.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's you can be a veteran and that happens to you the first time you come down pit road. So it's an innocent mistake, but it's one that those are details that only being at the racetrack, only doing live pit stops are the only way that you get used to making those adjustments and doing what you have to do to make yourself comfortable.
Also a product of a new team, new operation, and everything else. You're not looking for that same old board. You heard him say, "Where's my Vegas sign?" He put my Vegas sign up. I'll be good.
Look who's leading this race, Ryan Sieg. This team switched from Chevy to Ford in the offseason. Family operation out of Tucker, Georgia. Top 7 cars stayed out. Here we go in stage 2.
Big gap in that second line there, second and third. And look at the inside line, how tight those first 5 or 6 cars are.
Definitely accordion on the inside.
And look at the first 2 cars in the bottom line there. They got hooked up. You see, they drove probably 30 feet distance-wise ahead of that inside line that were separated.
Second car inside lane. That's the 23 of Jay White. And first and second in that inside row, they're teammates. And speaking of the 23, watch this shot on the restart.
Traffic line. 2's leaving a little hub. There's not enough room for the 10. Now they're stacked up. Still out there. Still out there.
Yeah, as soon as he hit him, you saw the smoke coming out of the left rear. I'd say the quarter panel got into the tire a little bit there.
Outside lane, that bright yellow 68. Brandon Brown, another family operation.
See that inside line? I was going to say it has more cars in it. It's so funny. It's crazy down here how fast things materialize. 1 minute, even the spotter, all right, we're good. You got a lot of help. Not so much.
Justin Haley didn't even want to wait. I mean, he got a run there, decided to split those 2 cars through the middle, get to that outside line.
I felt like he stayed pretty patient in that opening stage. Here he's showing his hand a little bit, wants to go to the front.
Well, and I think we're seeing some cars up to the front that we didn't see in the first stage. Some of these guys may not be comfortable running around them, so you may want to get by those guys sooner than later and not put yourself in a position to be right behind them. It's all about being around cars that you're surrounded with, that you're comfortable in that draft with, because you have to trust those guys as much as they have to trust you.
Well, they're on old tires too. They're down on grip and everything else. They haven't been working with their spotters on blocks and things like that. This is their opportunity to learn like you were that first stage. So there's a lot of things going on right there you got to be cautious of. You can see when they get 3 wide how bad it bogs down that bottom line. Outside line just takes off.
Brandon Jones won the opening stage, appeared to be off the pace there a little bit, or was he just drifting back and trying to avoid a problem in the pack? Jeb Burton, green and black 10, trapped in the middle, and there's Jones behind him. We'll keep an eye on him.
10 car with an anchor hanging out of the back of that thing right now, and that's just no help in the middle. both of those lines on the outside outside and inside have a run and just drive away.
Whoa!
Whoa, that's a
whoa! That was big.
That's a big moment right there.
Caught it not once but twice right there. Got loose again, then got into Cindric and got him loose. Heads up driving by both of them.
Wow.
And Daniel Hemrick right here.
And that's where having 3 good cars around you with Mike Lynette as well in that trio, having those 3 guys around there and seeing that develop, that if it was any other 3 guys than those 3, probably would have been a different outcome.
Circle at lap 40, the big one that never happened, because it could have been.
And it took out some great cars right there.
Allmendinger riding in 4th, that white and black 16. Behind him, the red, black, and white number 2, Myatt Snyder running full-time for RCR in 2021. Let's hear from Regan Smith.
Well, guys, we just saw that big moment that the 19 of Brandon Jones had coming off of turn 4 right there. That's been his complaint with this race car all night long so far, is it's too tight off of turn 4. Clint, Tony, you know as well as I do, car gets tight, you put wheel to it, at some point those tires are going to catch, and it's going to jump you sideways like that.
Yeah, and it gets your attention in a hurry. Things will calm down. You'll find a place and hide for a bit. I tell you what, I love what I see out of Ryan Sieg. First lap's led at Daytona, but certainly he's been doing a great job. I don't get a chance to come up here with you very often, Adam, but every time I do, I'm impressed with Ryan Sieg and the job that he does in that car.
And I thought if he did something positive today, he would have his Ford brothers around him. Right now, he's doing it all by himself. Got to be a good feeling looking in the rearview mirror. Halfway home in stage number 2 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona. It's the Beef, it's What's for Dinner 300. Ryan Sieg leading. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for those that push the limits of possibility. Goodyear, more driven. With Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer, I'm Adam Alexander. We're going to go mute so you can enjoy the sights and sounds of the world's center of racing. Let's crank it up.
I hate this part, Tony.
behind you. Everybody's on top of each other, pushing hard. Still half all the way up right here. One back, about 2.5 out front. Clear by 2. Whatever the 16 does is what we're on the plan with right now. Two ahead of the 9, 2 ahead of the 9. 1.
Back, like right now, you're held just 1 off of you. But sometimes he's like 3, so that'd be a little tough. Just keep rolling with that 22.
2. Still the same. Terrible up top right here. So like a yo-yo. So you probably need 6 cars and they got to be towards the front to pull the bottom. Yeah, 10-4, I know. Unfortunately, I think 6 is the minimum. With him, no pusher with him.
11 laps to go in stage number 2 here at Daytona. Single file running the wall. Does this get a little bit nerve-wracking for the driver when you're back in the pack and you can't gain ground?
Definitely does, and the best part that I liked about that last communication is talking about how many cars does it take to get down there. You was longing for that communication, you heard it, and all of a sudden you're starting to see cars peek down there. 11 to go, you're going to see it.
What are they thinking in the leaders pit, Vince?
Well, if there's anybody that's happy that they're all single file, it's the 39 camp of Ryan Sieg. He has not been challenged since he's gotten out front as they've remained single file, and they're just counting them down until they get to the end of this stage. Sieg likes the way his car is handling. Of course, it always handles a little better when it's out front. Hey, and you talked to Adam about the success of this little family-owned team. Remember, they're coming off a career year. Finished 10th in points, career high number of top 5s, career high number of laps led. Second at Talladega. They are inching closer to their first ever win. Could it be today?
And Ryan's brother Kyle, top 5 run in the ARCA race earlier today. A lot to celebrate in the family. The finish to stage 2 when we come back. Ryan Sieg continues to lead at Daytona. Justin Haley behind him. Then it's Brandon Brown, Myatt Snyder, Brett Moffitt, the top 5. We're coming to 5 laps to go in the stage. I want to know when things are going to get aggressive, because at the end of stage 1, we had a photo finish.
And we've seen a couple guys, and during the break here, we were just talking about it. We saw independent guys like Ty Dillon right here. Ty's been trying it out, ducking down. Austin Cindric did the same thing. It's just a matter of time until you get 3 or 4 of these good drivers that have the confidence to sit there and start developing that bottom line to get going. Once they get hooked up, you're going to see more guys keep piling on, more guys piling that line, the faster that line's going to go.
And good cars, it's very important. We all talked about the communication. We've been talking about that spotter. Him telling you what cars are coming, what cars are moving down to formulate that line is so important. You see this gap in between Ty Dillon and those cars. He's stalling that car out. It draws those cars behind him to his bumper, and they're going to prevail. And they shoot down low right here, and those guys go all the way to the outside.
Evidently, there's some oil that's coming off. I don't know if it's Sieg or
there's only one in front of him, buddy.
Right. I mean, I don't know when this happened. You gotta put 2 and 2 together and anticipate perhaps it's something Sieg's got going on. That visual difficult for a driver.
You can actually see it on Brown's windshield too. Both of those cars look pretty bad. But you know, I was trying to look at the back of Sieg's car, and it does, usually when you're leaking oil, it'll collect debris as well on there, and you can see that it's really dirty. It didn't necessarily look that way.
Look at Brett Moffitt pull out and actually get a good run there.
Yeah, and pulling Ty Dillon, everybody with him right here. This is the action we were waiting to see, Adam.
And how much of that, Tony, Brett Moffitt pulling down, is his spotter saying, all right, here they come on the inside lane, hop down in front of them and let them push you to the front?
Absolutely, but you got to have the confidence. You got a good enough race car, because you're going to stall that line out a little bit. As soon as they catch you, your lack of momentum is going to slow that line down. But then once you can get hooked up, then you start building it again like you're seeing here. Big run on the inside.
Moffitt, little side draft off of Haley there, it looked like, and it's paying dividends. The 0-2, Our Motorsports, 2nd year of existence, and they are pushing their way toward the lead.
And you look at the strength on that inside line. I mean, you got Joe Gibbs Toyota, you got a Penske Ford, you've got some really good cars on that inside line. That's the line I like coming to these last 3 laps.
And he's working the side draft well, isn't he? You got to pull it. Suck down to the side of them, stall those guys out, wait for your run, pull off of them, use the run, take off, start the process all over again. It's just a non-stop working chess match, and Brett was doing a great job of it right there. I like T-Ty. How about T-Ty, man? He's been strong in his car. We talked about his opportunity. He's taking advantage of it right here.
And everybody in that bottom line was doing their part. Cindric was side drafting off the 11. I mean, you got a lot of guys that are doing their part of stalling that outside line to where they can get a run on the inside.
Regan?
Well, impressive what the 0-2 at Brett Moffitt has been doing up front. Let's also remember that team upgraded to ECR engines this year. A big move for them to do that.
Let's also remember that a year ago when we hit the pandemic, he broke both of his legs, didn't miss any races, came back and was so good in the Camping World Truck Series. And I mentioned earlier running full-time in both series this year, Truck and Xfinity.
I think you undersold that. He didn't just break both legs. They were his femurs. The femur bone, the big bone, Jack. Both of them in a motorcycle accident. I couldn't imagine the pain that was. I grew up racing motorcycles. That hurts.
Well, not only the pain and when it happens, but imagine being inside the race car on some of these tracks that we go to. Not every track is as smooth as Daytona is, and you start hitting bumps like that, that has got to be painful.
I'm sticking with when it happened.
This is the Nutrien Ag Solutions onboard camera. Jeb Burton won a stage here a year ago in this race. New team in 2021. And out in front of him, that's his teammate in the 11, Justin Haley, who's trying to win his 4th consecutive race on a super speedway. Final lap, stage 2.
Pretty much every man for himself right here. I'm still at this point going into stage 2. I'm surprised that teammates haven't found one another. Manufacturers haven't found one another. We talk about that and the importance of that when we get down to Daytona and Talladega, tracks like this. They still haven't been able to work together as one.
But that's what we talked about at the beginning too, about having young drivers. You can talk about that game plan, and then as soon as you put that helmet on, somehow it squeezes the blood flow.
Spinner! Brandon Jones, who won the opening stage, crashes at the end of stage 2, and more contact. Wow, that was scary. Cody Ware in the 17 got him.
And they had a lot of rain today at Daytona. The infield is absolutely, I mean, there's standing puddles in the infield, so we knew if somebody got down there, it was going to be big trouble.
Definitely worst case scenario. You saw it fold the front end under, and he was along for the ride.
Moffitt did win the stage. Cindric, Dillon, Haley, Brown, the top 5. Moffitt feeling good, and Brandon Jones off to such a great start in today's race. And unfortunately, he's going to have his day ended early. See, he's okay with that window net down. And there's the third victim, Alex LeBay in the 36, led laps a year ago. All 3 drivers have put their window nets down, indicating to the AMR safety team they are okay.
All good, all good. All right, you did a heck of a job today. We'll obviously have a new car for the next Speedway race, but really good job. You learned a lot today with your side drafts. It looked really impressive. Yeah, man, that was the best day I've had in this thing in a long time. Good work.
Jeff Mendring was a car chief on my car with Darian Grubb and did a great job. He made the switch to Gibbs to be a crew chief, and he's done a great job with that 19 team.
He's really helped Brandon Jones take his career to a different level.
He's kind of down there minding his own business. Oh, got put 3 wide. Yep. Moved up to pull a side draft off those guys. That guy got to his inside, moved down to make the block, and it was too late. That's the way I saw it. How about you, Tone?
And that happens so often. Yep. It's so easy for that to happen. You get your eyes looking to the right. Next thing you know, the left side's closing in on you, and that's the result.
5th caution of the day. It was coming out anyway with the stage in, but Brandon Jones went for a big slide through the infield grass, and he is done. Red flag is out at Daytona for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Big crash as we ended stage 2, and it all started with Brandon Jones.
Yeah, it did. Just, you know, it's unfortunate. The thing is, the grass looks so short. It's just so much rain today. As soon as he got in that grass, it ripped the front end off, and he was along for the ride. But you see here, he moved up to take a side draft, kind of moved back down, got hooked in the left rear, and it was along for the ride. Big hit.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, of having to make those split-second decisions as a driver. You're hearing what your spotter's telling you, and you're trying to side draft there to get to the line. Then when you realize you have to get left, the amount of time it took to make that adjustment and get down there, that gap is closed up already. And it doesn't take but an inch or two
just
to get clipped and get turned like that. And the hard thing about these infields, and we see this at a lot of tracks that have tri-ovals that have grass in them, either the grass is really tall, but like you said, at Daytona, it's really short, but the problem is you have to be able to drain the water. So that infield, even though it looks really, really flat, it's not flat. It has a lot of areas where that water has to drain down, and so that creates those humps. And with the splitter heights as low to the ground as they are, it doesn't take much of a difference there to get that splitter to dig in.
Tony, if I can get Pam to back this up one more time, did you see how close you were to spending a bunch of money in that wreck? I mean, he barely
I was
missed
trying to not
ride.
look at that, but I have to admit that I caught that.
Watch how close he is to hitting Riley Herbst right here, which is your automobile.
That'll be the black and green 98 when Herbst comes
He
through.
spins down, and when he comes back up across the track, Tony, this is the car it's your car that he almost hits right here. It's the black 98. Watch this. Woo! I'm not sure. I think it did hit it a little bit.
He might have got a piece. And real close for Michael Annett that was able to sneak by right there.
Oh, it's not looking good for you, Tony. Looks expensive. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Is that a near hit or a near miss?
I think it was a near miss. I don't think he got him.
He nearly hit him, but he didn't hit him.
Baby.
And he got LeBay. LeBay following Michael Annett. The one gets through unscathed.
Major damage to that car.
Wow.
Let's talk to Brett. Brett Moffitt. Let's see what he got. Hey, Brett Moffitt, you got it? It's Boyer up in the booth. They never answer me, Adam. They never answer.
You're on the right channel, aren't you?
Brett Moffitt, it's Boyer up in the booth. You got us? Phenomenal conversation. This always works so well, Tony.
Let's go to 54 and talk to Ty Dillon, maybe. We could try runner-up. We got permission to do that?
Brett, you're out. Ty, you're in. Coming at you. Hang on, folks.
I mean, do you honestly blame these guys for not wanting to talk to you in the middle of a race?
He's probably took a break. He might be combing that pretty mustache of his. Man, I do like it. Yeah, I do.
What is wrong with you?
You know, when Tony
can't grow one.
When Tony dialed up Brandon, he responded right away.
TV's going to come through if you're good with it.
Hey, T-Ty. Ty Dillon's Boyer up in the booth. You got us?
Hey, Boyer. What's up, buddy?
Man, how about you now, huh? New opportunity, making the most of it. What are you feeling?
I'm having fun, dude. This is just a blessing to be able to drive this Bass Pro Supra. It's got some good speed, and I'm sure you guys can tell. I'm having a blast out here. I'm very thankful for the opportunity with Joe Gibbs and Toyota. Just trying to make a statement. I want to be back up with the big boys again full time. I feel like I could do this, and got to fish it out here today first. But I'm having a lot of fun. These guys have been so great to work with, and got a ways to go. We got to miss some stuff, but I'm having a blast.
Well, I'm certainly, I guarantee you, Pop, he's happy. Johnny Morris is happy. The Bass Pro colors are looking good. Man, I tell you, I wouldn't luck. It would be awesome to watch you win this race. Awesome opportunity like we talked about. Major bummer to see you missing that 500. I know that was hard to take, but, man, stay in there. Good luck to you. We're all pulling for you, bud.
Thanks, man. Yep, I have peace about it. You give it your all. Sometimes the cards don't fall the way you want them to, but good Lord has good plans on the other side of it. We'll just keep digging.
I love his perspective. A couple of kids at home. So the game changes when he leaves the racetrack, and I hope he can get back full time. Regan?
Well, and something that I heard over the radio a second ago, Adam, I'm sad that, Clint, you didn't ask him about this. Their pit call for this stop is Brady. I don't know. To me, that must be the winning pit call. That's got to be,
really?
right? I don't know a lot about football, but that's a guess.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Which Brady you got? The celebratory Brady or the game?
The celebratory one's way more fun.
I don't know if I'd use that one. I don't know if they found him yet. He may not have found himself.
If it's Monday morning, Brady, I give him one lap on the restart of the final stage, and he's in the wall. if it's Sunday night, Brady, he just might get his second career victory. Under the red flag, Brandon Jones going for a ride at Daytona.
Keep coming. He's going to come back up on the track. Just watch the 19. Watch the 19. Keep digging. Dig. High.
Hey, Tony, remember when you were talking about that demeanor and how the level of their voice? Did you hear his tone go up? Woo!
That's the most excited I've ever heard Fidoa.
You remember when I said when their voices get like that, hold on tight, it's going to hurt? That was close.
But you saw, and here are the spotters, you saw the speed in. And right when he went by, he was right around 188 miles per hour. If he's at 184, 185, he's in it. No way to avoid it. But he stayed in the gas, courtesy of Tim Fidoa coaching him up. And he's able to get by, stay clean. And the Vegas kid now has kind of gotten lucky twice, right? I mean, I know there's some talent there and great communication. But
when things happen right here, there's one part of the equation. To win at Daytona, there is a part of the equation called luck. You got to have it on your side. When things are on your side, they're on your side. I'm telling you right now, I like what I see out of him. He might just be there.
There are always more variables that are out of your control than in your control in these races, because you can't control all those cars around you in the scenarios that they get themselves in, let alone where you're at and where you get stuck with it. So it's always, you got to have that luck, like Boyer's saying. It's you don't want to have to rely on it, but you have to have it at times here to get through.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Moffitt again or something. I'm getting bored up here on this red flag.
I feel bad for these guys.
Let's do it again. Hey, Brett Moffitt, it's Boyer. You got us? Come on, hit the button.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey! Are you asleep out there? I tried you earlier, not once, but twice.
Nah, your radio must be garbage, because I didn't get you.
I think you were talking. I don't know what happened. Man, you're looking good, buddy, on point. What do you got for the rest of this thing? You think you can block them off?
It's going to be a lot of work, as we've seen in the previous races here. But, yeah, it was pretty awesome to get a stage win. I think restrictor plate racing is the weakest link as a driver for me. So that was cool, confidence boosting. We got a fast freight auction Camaro, and hopefully we can stay up here all night, avoid the trouble, and put it in victory lane.
All right, man. Hey, you still have the mustache, right?
Oh, yeah. Can't go without that at a Speedway.
All right, I think you need to paint it on your helmet or something. So we had an in-car right there. I mean, the mustache has got to stay. Don't know whose idea it was, but I'm loving it.
Thanks.
You win a stage, and now you have to sit and wait. Is this good or bad as a driver? I mean, I would think you want to continue the momentum, but is a reset okay here?
See, that is such a logical question on your side. I'm still sitting there thinking, if I'm Moffitt, I'm freaked out about what he was just saying about my mustache. And how much detail and emphasis he was putting on how much he loves my mustache.
Brandon Jones from the Care Center, Vince.
Well, it's good to see Brandon come out. A couple of big hits there. What started it?
I want to first off to say we had a super, I think, that was capable of winning the race today, and probably on my one of my best races I've ran so far in a super speedway, and just doing my job. I was trying to block that lane, and we were getting close to that stage end. So I'm assuming the teammates were wanting to break off for that reason. They're trying to get to the front and do their deal too, and we were getting kind of left. So I was trying to make some kind of last-minute moves to try to protect myself as best I could. It just didn't work out, man. But I have so much confidence now after this race to build forward and go forth on the next super speedway when we come back. So I'm looking forward to it. Learned a bunch today, and I just want to say thanks to Menards, Jeldwin. They do so much for my career and this race team. I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be a really good one for us, I have a feeling.
Yeah, glad you're okay. Thanks, Brandon. Adam?
And when these guys pit, I want to see what they do to the 2-car of Myatt Snyder, because that contact on the right front could be a little bit of damage there. Man, that impact is incredible. After 9:30 this morning, it started raining here at Daytona. Rained till 11:30, and that's why the infield grass is so damp. We remain under the red flag after stage 2. While we were away, red flag was lifted, back under caution. Drivers did come down pit road with 58 laps to go. We know that everybody's going to have to pit one more time after this set of stops. So a lot of guys going with at least 2, maybe 4 tires in this circumstance. Maybe sets up fuel only on the final stop of the night. Could very well be under a green flag condition. I think everybody I saw there went 4 tires.
Pretty clean stops too.
Across speed weeks and road course events, Daytona International Speedway in Fox will host thousands of military members and their families. NASCAR has a close relationship with VetTix, a nonprofit organization that specializes in verifying, selecting, and distributing tickets to military members and their families. For more info, go to vettix.org. And we just got a report, the 54 of Ty Dillon, 22 of Austin Cindric took 2 tires only, and Ryan Sieg, who had never led laps at Daytona until today, 23 laps out front in the second stage, has got big problems.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, the oil on the cars behind them. And sure enough, definitely an oil leak right there.
Riley Herbst, 12 laps led today. Let's listen into the 98 radio.
Sure, keep your foot on your brake there for our changers. Left throttle spinning a little bit. All good, bud. We're all taking notes. Got 32 races to make this stuff perfect, so learning every time.
You know, that's something too, what he was saying right there, hold your foot on the brake, and obviously as they come around you got to heel toe it, which means you got to hold your heel on the brake as you're keeping the thing idling, right, with your throttle and your toes, and then the other one's on the clutch pedal. This car's overheating right here with Ryan Sieg. But in other words, what he was doing right there was letting the wheel slip a little bit. I guarantee you he had his foot on the brake, it just wasn't enough. And another thing about these plate cars, other than your regular short track brake package or anything else, usually has a little bit longer pedal, a little softer pedal feel, so it makes it hard to heel toe. Your heel will get down too far to where you can't get the throttle, and then you'll start trying to get to the throttle and naturally letting your heel off the brake. I've done that before. Very easy to do, especially at a plate track like this.
1 to go, and we look at the scoring monitor. A couple of guys that stayed out, they've now made their pit stops, among them Timmy Hill. So that turns things over to those 2 drivers that got 2 tires. Ty Dillon on the front row for the restart with Austin Cindric. Back behind them, you've got Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Brett Moffitt, who won that second stage. Josh Berry in the 8. Haven't given him a ton of love, but the late model star has been doing a great job for Dale Jr. in his first ever start of any kind at Daytona. You see the numbers getting better and better. 14th in stage 1, 10th in stage 2, and knocking on the door of the top 5.
And he's kind of stayed in that area the whole race. He haven't seen a lot of movement either forward or backward. So he's been real solid. He's put himself in good spots. He's not been overly aggressive, and that's got himself in trouble. So he's just floated around the top 10 like that and having a nice solid day.
Kind of really seen the whole race like that a little bit, right? Storms brewing, everybody's learning. We've covered all this. Tony's talked about that. It's time to start putting what you're learning to good use, and it's getting winding down to the end. So I'm looking forward to a pretty wild finish, as it always is. It's Daytona.
Well, we'll be at 55 laps to go. So how do you pace yourself? When do you effectively push the go button and let it all hang out here? You got to balance it, right?
I don't think it's time yet. Let's not get carried away here, but start thinking about it.
Well, and you look at the first 2 rows in this restart, you have a lot of quality cars, quality drivers up here that know what they're doing. So these guys in the front and the guys behind that are going to follow their lead. So it'll be interesting to see if they get single file again. If they get single file, do they take the bottom? Do they get lined up on the top? But like you said, Clint, I mean, it's way early still. I mean, you're halfway through the race. There's nothing to gain by being too aggressive right now. But you got to start thinking from the end of the race now. When do you want to start pushing? And how are you going to get yourself in that position and get that track position to be there at the end?
Still bumping. 22 still hanging barely. Still there barely. Coming back full now. Full. On your tight here.
helps 1 back. Still 1.5. He's dropping back more. 22 still on you tight. 1 back to the 9. Top lane's full here. Top lane's still full. Top lane's still full. Help half back now. Half back. Top lane's still full. On you tight here. On you tight. Half back. 1 back 9. 1 back 9. Good to 22 here. Helps 1 back still. Helps still 1 back. Half back. 18 and a half. Outline still tight here. Outline.
Drew Herring
still tight.
calling the shots for Ty Dillon on this restart. Tomorrow he'll be on the spotter stand for Martin Truex Jr.
It's going to be interesting here what Austin Cindric does. The first time he's had a decision, you pick the outside line, pick the inside line, you move back and forth, try to stall him out. You know, and then all of a sudden when things start materializing 3 wide back there, you see that move with the 18 car. Those are all make a difference in what happens with the runs behind you in one lane or another.
And he actually had, early in the race, he had an opportunity with Riley Herbst behind him and didn't really move. You know, I think they stayed forward. But now you've got a Toyota on the inside, a Chevrolet on the outside behind him. He has to sit there and at this point take care of himself and do what he thinks is right to keep him in that track position and stay in the lead.
You know, for me, watching the duels, watching practice, everything else, it's become the thing to do in years, you know, the past years right here, to get your allies together, find your teammates. It's just kind of become the norm at Daytona and Talladega. It's surprising to me that these guys still haven't found those cars and know where they're at, know what kind of pushes they are, because when a push comes to shove at the end of this thing, you're going to need somebody that's not going to spit you out. And the only one you can count on, kind of ish, is your teammate.
And their strength in numbers, right? And it's not by coincidence that Chevy has won 7 in a row here, because you look at the lineup, a whole bunch of Chevrolets.
Yeah, but I still think the thing that I always feel like the strong suit is if you can show that you have a fast race car, you don't have to have a buddy. You don't have to have a teammate. If you've got a fast race car, those guys are going to want to line up with you because they know you're going to either get to the front or stay in the front. And I honestly think as much as you want to worry about teammates, it's so easy to get split up. You can, you know, one person makes a move and can totally split up teammates real easy. I think the biggest thing, especially if you're Austin at this point, you don't have to worry about a manufacturer around you at this point. Just do what you have to do to maintain that lead at this point.
At the end of the day, you're using whatever tool you can, right? Whether it's a teammate, an ally, anybody, you're using them. If they're fast and you're fast behind them, you're going to use them until you don't need them.
And those guys in second, third, fourth, I mean, if you're the guy leading and you have to change lanes to protect your lead, they know why you're doing it. You're not doing it to hang them out. You're doing it to protect your lead there. So they're not going to hold it against you. It's not a grudge at that point. I mean, there's times, and there are spots in the race where they make a move, they will hang somebody out. They will remember that. But if you're that lead car and you're having to jockey between the outside and inside lane, you're just doing what you have to do to protect your lead.
Allgaier second in that outside lane, driving the 7, the Brandt Chevy for Junior Motorsports. 20 starts here, has never been to victory lane. Second twice.
I just can't figure out how he's breaking the bubble. That thing's crazy.
Moffitt's a good pusher, pretty aggressive.
Yeah, well, he's going to wreck everybody, but he's got speed like no other car in the field.
What he's talking about in that bubble, as you're approaching that car in front of you, you got to get through a bubble. It seems like you can get that run from the car behind you, get that run, get right to their bumper, about 4 feet off of it. You hit this pocket, air pocket bubble, and you can't get through it. Some cars can, some can't. A lot of it depends on the push that you get from the car behind you. Some of it depends on your old hot rod.
That's exactly right. And if you have a car that can get through that, you have got a strong race car. And the guy ahead of you knows you have a strong race car.
Mentioned the rain earlier today in Daytona Beach, Florida. Scattered showers all around, but we've made it past stage 2, and so this race is official. Should we get some precipitation? And the racing at the front is outstanding. Outside is Austin Cindric. Inside is Ty Dillon. And plenty of drafting help behind for both.
And you can see Brett Moffitt just keeps pushing the bumper of that 7 car, and the communication you were talking about with Justin Allgaier. He doesn't like it, but it's effective.
49 laps remaining. We'll step aside. Cindric out front of Allgaier, Ty Dillon, Brett Moffitt, and Justin Haley. Under caution for the 6th time today, and we might just be able to call this the big one. If not, it's the mini big one. And it all started when drivers started making green flag pit stops.
Yeah, all of a sudden we heard a lot of chatter on the radios about trying to make a way to the pits. Austin Cindric from the lead makes a move to the pits, and then everything accordions in the back. Everybody's trying to jockey for position, get down to the bottom to where they can pit.
And this 9 times out of 10 is miscommunication.
You can see it right here with the 9 start to get loose right here. Oh, then Michael Annette.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, this is miscommunication where the spotters mid-pack and back of the pack have no idea that those lead lap cars are getting ready to pit and miss that, so they don't give that information to the drivers. And they just think a second line's developing on the bottom, and next thing you know, as soon as they come off of 4, they start checking up.
Well, some of them aren't getting that information. I mean, you know, that is, you know, inside information you're getting from a team, from an organization, obviously from a manufacturer like that, but you can see everybody getting on the binders to try to figure out what they're doing.
That's Cindric leading them. Looked like Josh Berry was going to come down. Justin Allgaier.
It all accordion, clear from the front.
And watch the 9 car in the center of the screen there. Bam! Gets hit in the back. He's got the wreck made. He's done a good job of staying out of trouble, and then gets hit from a car from behind.
Heads up move from Austin Cindric and his team too, because you could see pit road closed, the light went on, and he immediately darted up from the lead. Obviously gave up the lead right there, but could have been worse.
Let's go on board with Brandon Godova. This is the snapmobile.shop onboard camera.
Back it down, back it down, back it down. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Watch all the debris here. They're going to come across your nose. Easy right here. Easy. Easy. Work up. Work up. Stay where you are right here. Right here.
Pretty darn good job of heads-up driving, but phenomenal job from that spotter. Put him right on the money where he was wanting to be, the information, everything spot on.
Something that I saw him do there that I wasn't used to doing in that scenario, 2 downshift.
Yeah, and that'll slow you down. That's a great thing. I was going to say, man, he got a good downshift, helped him slow down, got another one in a second. Definitely great job all the way around by that. Who was that guy? I didn't see it.
And I never had that confidence to do that. I mean, when we were in that scenario, I never wanted to take my hands off the wheel. I wanted to make sure I was driving and making sure that I was trying to pick the right line, listening to my spotter, which line to be in. I didn't want to take my hand off the wheel in case I did get hit from behind. I wanted to make sure I had the maximum amount of control of my car as possible.
That's the 9 of Noah Gragson, won this race a year ago. His teammate Michael Annett, who won it in 2019, done for the day. You see how damaged that #1 Chevrolet is for Junior Motorsports.
But you make such a good point there. Obviously, you don't want to take your hands off the wheel, Tony, but if you, without those downshifts, he wouldn't have been slowed down enough, and you may have drove right off into a wreck.
Good point.
That helps the car slow down a lot.
Just got crashed coming to pit road. Are you okay? I waved them off 10 freaking times.
See the 52. You saw Greg Gaulding running over to the ambulance. That 52 for Jimmy Means Racing, heavily damaged, so he'll go to the care center, be done as well. 74 of Bailey Curry was the car that you saw sliding through the grass. And there's Ryan Vargas, one of our rookies, driving the 6 for JD Motorsports. He was right around it, but that Chevrolet looks pretty clean.
And Sieg with a little bit of damage. Ooh, a lot of damage.
Now he has to have that flap.
They're going to see the guy
hood?
with the screws. He's going to screw another one back on right here, I would say. Very good point there. You got to have those on, I bet you. But I don't know how it's going to be functioning if it's bolted down. It's on there.
Well, it's on. It looks like the front of it's on a hinge.
Yeah.
Oh.
He may have to screw the back of it down, though.
Cowboy Starlin, the crew chief for Ryan Sieg.
That's on there.
Left and right side.
Yeah, I was going to say replacing it on both sides.
Not going to get a job at the local body shop on that fit and finish.
Would not pass inspection.
Quite a bit of damage on the back of Noah Gragson here.
Some really good pictures from our production group. Under caution for the 6th time tonight at Daytona. You're watching The Beef. It's What's for Dinner 300. Will be the final stop of the day, Vince.
Well, the 18 of Daniel Hemrick, it's going to be fuel only. You see there, they did give him a tear-off. Same for the 98, a chassis adjustment for Riley Herbst, but fuel only. And let's go to Regan Smith.
Harrison Burton, they asked him to stop short. It's going to be fuel only as well. They wanted to give their teammate a little bit of room. Justin Haley, fuel only, needed a tear-off, a little edgy on the right rear on that car.
Haley had taken over the race lead after Cindric made that move to come down pit road and jump back out when the crash happened. Haley, fuel only, maintains the top spot. Harrison Burton picks up 2, and Noah Gragson out of the car and done.
Yeah, showing up at Daytona for the first race, knowing that that's the place where I visited the care center more than any other racetrack on the schedule, I'd personally like to just finish there. I've got a picture of one of the race cars I drove at Daytona. For whatever reason, that picture is in one of the rooms in the medical center, and I keep seeing it. And I told them to take it down. So hopefully all the bad juju's out and we get to go have fun at Daytona.
The answer to that is just don't go to the care center, right?
Never a good sign when you got your picture in the Haydenville Care Center.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. It was like, you don't want to look at it, don't go there anymore. Just stay on the racetrack.
It's easier said than done here.
Very much so.
We look now at our Ford Performance Track Facts, and Ford has won 15 races last season. 6 for this guy, 9 for his Ford teammate Chase Briscoe. Both made the championship 4. And of course, Cindric able to pick up the championship. Ty Dillon just came down pit road. What's the story there, Regan?
Well, the impressive run continues for Ty Dillon tonight, Adam, and even more impressive, we got to take into the fact that he's working with a new spotter. Drew Herring, who is now Martin Truex Jr. spotters on Sunday, is on the roof for him tonight, calling the race for him. This is only the second super speedway race ever that Drew Herring has called, so very impressive for that car to be up front, making the moves that he's making, and making keeping himself out there in the lead like he's needing to. It's a good sign for Martin tomorrow. I'm sure he's probably in the motorhome watching right now, enjoying what he's hearing.
And you know, Drew was a driver, still does a lot of testing for Toyota. That's got to be an enormous asset.
Well, and what a great job he's doing, and what confidence it says that 2 really good race car drivers chose him to be their spotter. Martin Truex Jr., the guy's 2 races he's ever spotted. That's a big deal, man.
Each year, I'm assuming they're telling Gregson here, you got to go to the care center, right?
I wonder if his picture's in the care center.
Maybe that's why he's resisting.
Still scraping cars out of the infield.
Each year, NASCAR begins its season during Black History Month. We recognize the accomplishments of Black Americans in the sport. So many icons, including the Hall of Famer Wendell Scott, the first black driver to win a NASCAR Cup Series event. 40 laps to go here at Daytona International Speedway. It's the season opener for the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer. I'm Adam Alexander, and some new faces at the front. I don't know if they'll pit here, but if they don't, Timmy Hill, Cesar Baccarella, Danny Bone, Jesse Little. We haven't seen them up there today, but perhaps a little bit of a strategy play for them. See if they can hang around in the draft, pull this field around.
Big race, big opportunity, going for it. I like it. Tell you what else I like. I like the title sponsor, Tony. I'm getting hungry. Where's the beef, baby? I got me a big old prime filet back there in the bus, and I can't wait to get it on the grill.
I can't believe it took us 80 laps for you to work that in.
Hey, it just naturally came. I looked down and saw beef, and I started getting hungry.
I feel bad. I've been thinking about it for the last 40 laps and just didn't say it.
Came out. It's there. It's done. It happened.
You look at Timmy Hill leading. Now, he missed out during the duel the other night to race his way into the Daytona 500. But last year, he did just that in the duel and then came out in the Xfinity race and ran in the top 5. It's his career best. You see it there, third one season ago. And this guy, if he didn't make headlines on the track at Daytona last year, he certainly did when we were doing business in the sim iRacing. He turned a lot of heads, Clint.
Yeah, including mine. He made us look. But poor Jeff and I, we got thrown into that thing, and man, we were terrible. I tell you who wasn't terrible? Timmy Hill. He made us all look bad. Tell you, what's that on the side of his car? It's some guy on the side of that thing. Handsome devil. I like it.
All it's missing is a mustache.
Did you see it?
Yes.
I want to see.
How could you not see it?
That's exactly what I want. I want to sponsor my face on the side of a car. I need to know I'm not that one.
Right behind the number.
That's
not that one.
That's a funny follow.
Not that one. The one right behind the numbers.
Yep. It looked like Tony a few years ago.
It did not. It did not look like Tony. It never looked like Tony.
They're not going to do it, Tony. They're not going to show it for us. Storm's ruined, buddy.
Yeah, you think during this long caution, you think about these drivers, and they're all trying to figure out what is the strategy now. What is my play that's going to get me to the front? And that is not the play that's going to get me to the front, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just, and again, when you're, your mind's going so fast, you're listening, everything's coming into your mind like crazy at a track like this. Now you have this long yellow flag. You're trying to digest everything, trying to formulate that plan, trying to look in your rear view mirror, just digesting everything that's happened, what car's good. If you're Timmy Hill, the opportunity that he has, how am I going to keep this thing? Where's that block going to come from? All those things are going to come down to it to winning this race at the end.
I'd say this too. I'm curious for the driver. How does your mentality change? Not only because we're inside of 40 laps to go, and we talked about the sense of urgency and how it will rise as we get later and later in the race, but the race has taken on a different complexion now. We've eliminated some drivers. We've had the big one, if you will. That's got to play on your emotions and your thought process, does it not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, eliminating cars, you look back there, that's your buddy. That was your ally. That was a guy that you were hanging with. Now you got to find a new dancing partner. Who is this guy? Where are they going to come from? And how am I going to find them? All those things are happening right now.
And if I've been running anywhere near the front the whole day, now with this new group of 4 up front and seeing if they're going to stay there or if they're going to pit late in this caution before they go back to green, that throws a whole new variable in the equation that we haven't seen all day with those 4 guys in front. You don't know what they're going to do.
And by the way, Tony, it's okay at this point in the race. Take your jacket off and get comfortable, all right? Clint's like got a banking appointment over here.
I had a message. One of my buddies from home wanted to know if they could cut my tie off because we play poker and he was a city official and he always came over to the house. I told him if he showed up with a tie, I was cutting his tie off. So he's been wearing my phone out wanting to cut my tie all night now. So he asked me where I got it. I said Goodwill.
Should have told him you can't cut that tie. It's not yours. It was somebody else.
I got to turn it back in after the race is over.
Tony Stewart's friend, if we get another red flag later, the tie is going to be cut. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
Let's go to the AdventCare Health Center in Vince Welch.
Well, a tough incident on the junior motorsports team. Noah Gregson and Michael Lynette both out and done for the night. You were coming to pit road. I think you were trying to maybe wave hand signals, and then what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I can't get my hand out the window any further. Was waving them off down the back stretch, and then even checked up a little bit, just kind of slowing the rate of speed down, getting into 3. So it's definitely unfortunate. Just was playing the game that we had planned out, and just tore up a really good Chevrolet. So it's these guys worked their tails off all off season, and felt like we were doing everything we needed to. It wasn't our night. It's weird saying that being here in February, it's not our night, but yeah, that was a big one and just very unfortunate.
He won this race a couple of years ago, but not tonight for Michael Lynette, Adam.
True disappointment. Not sure that we touched on Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 0 was involved in that crash. You saw the list of them a moment ago. And now our Xfinity fastest lap, Jay White, top of the board, over 195 miles per hour. Landon Castle up there, Daniel Hemrick. Shout out to Tommy Joe Martins and the veteran Justin Allgaier.
One of the interesting things that I saw, in that pit stop sequence or attempt at a pit stop is there really didn't seem like there was much organization. Obviously, we saw that because everybody was checking, but I couldn't figure out if it was a manufacturer, all right, boys, we're going to do it manufacturally, or is it an organization? Was it Chevys? Was it Fords? Was it Toyotas? Who was pitting right there? Obviously, we saw Cindric pitting, but I couldn't tell who else was going to come with him.
And those underdog drivers that were at the front, you saw them, they did make a pit stop. So Haley is the race leader. We go green, 37 laps remaining.
Mike, with you, still your quarters. So tight with you.
This is Kevin Hamlin again.
You are just clear. They're 2 wide with you.
Working with Justin Haley.
You're clear by 4 to the bottom. Both lanes 2 wide. Even runs.
4's a lot. Tell you what.
The bottom lane right now is more organized. Usually the top starts forming here. Bottom's coming back to you. It's even runs in both lanes. 3 back, 2 back, even runs here. Half back top, outside here. Your help's with you. With you tied outside.
Tied outside, Harrison Burton in that 20 car with teammates. Like what I see right there. Haven't seen him much today. There when the time's right.
I feel like we said that about Harrison Burton a lot last year. 1 Rookie of the Year, 4 victories, but it seemed like we needed to get to that final stage before he put himself in that lead pack, and it really didn't matter what kind of track we were racing at.
It's when they hand you the check, bud.
That's what I was going to say. Those stage points are nice, but at the end of the day, that trophy and the prize money for winning the race means a lot more.
And he's got a new crew chief this year. Ben Bayshore, his old crew chief, moved up to the Cup Series with Kyle Busch. So he gets Jason Ratcliffe, who's incredible on the pit box, always has been in the Xfinity Series.
Not a bad move. I'd take either one of them cats.
Look at that side draft.
Orange 18 behind Harrison Burton. That's his teammate, Daniel Hemrick. First ride at Joe Gibbs Racing for him. Made the championship four twice in the Xfinity Series with RCR a couple of years ago.
I like what I see out of Brandon Brown today. Hanging tough up there in the front, rubbing elbows with the big boys. That's stout for that camp.
He started second at the beginning of the second stage and stayed in the top three on that outside line the entire time. I kept watching him, and he's just kind of silent there, but he's done a great job of keeping track position, and he's got speed.
Nice night for Brandon Brown, Vince.
Well, it certainly has been, Adam, and they've been happy from the very beginning. I mean, they felt like they were learning early on. They had an opportunity, as you guys noted, to run up front. Really, after that first round of pit stops, they've been very happy with their race car. Just came in that last time and got fuel, so they're good to the end. It is all unfolding just the way they hoped it would for that 68 team.
And he just slid to that bottom lane. Working with another Chevrolet. He's in front of Justin Haley. 34 laps remaining at Daytona, and you're not going to miss anything.
What happened there? Can't let him be involved. Let me out of the corner. Okay, 10-4. We're fine. Regroup. Pay attention out the front here.
Derek Nealon talking Myatt Snyder through an incident on track, and this is Justin Haley in the 11. What a save.
I tell you, the first one was a product, and we've seen it. That 0-2 of Brett Moffitt, he's been pushing everybody that way all day long. And watch this. As Haley moves up, air off of him right there. Got big time loose. That was close.
If you remember, though, that's the second time he's got tied off before and got tight and then sheared it loose like that.
We've had 6 cautions. We probably should have had 7 and 8 right there.
Exactly.
30 to go. Harrison Burton leading. Let's crank it up.
Inside, very bottom, 48. Stay about 1 off of him, be smooth. Very bottom, everybody else out back with us. Man, I understand it. We need to work on something. He's in a gap of about 20 to another pack that's just pushing the 10 tight there down the back. He's all of us together. With that 54, if he gets, I don't know if he's hearing me or not, or I don't know. Right, looks like he's still 3 back. He's not trying to push. Remain. We'll just stay after. Calm, cool, and collected. 28 to go. Toyotas up front, 22 AU 75116 98. Yeah, when it comes time to go, the JRM cars want to go, won't go. That's where I'll talk to him. Bunny should help our line here. Separated by half. No gaps really being built. 16's went to the bottom, 4 rows back. He rows back. The 16 is trying to do that bottom thing by himself right now. Keep doing your thing. As long as we keep finding our gaps, they can't do much. Bottom.
Tab Boyd talking to Josh Berry and discussing that inside lane, referring to A.J. Allmendinger, who said he's just not making up any ground down there. Stay in line.
And it's hard to do that. I mean, you've got to have help. You have to have that push from behind to carry a mile an hour. The only thing that you can do if you're in that scenario and you're just dead set on trying to make spots are trying to side draft off of the quarter panel and pulling that car in front of you behind and then ducking in the hole. Oh, what do I have to watch this?
Not clear.
I don't like watching this.
He about spent some more money.
Jeez. I'm looking here at who's out front. 3 Toyotas, Harrison Burton, Daniel Hemrick, Ty Dillon, all teammates at Joe Gibbs Racing. Behind them, Austin Cindric. And you get the feeling those 4 are the ones that might decide this thing. Just behind them, the 8 of Josh Berry, Vince.
Well, and I don't know if Barry's got the experience to pull it off, but I'll tell you what, he's done a heck of a job tonight, along with the assistance of spotter Tab Boyd. Keep in mind, Josh Berry hasn't even started an Xfinity race since 2017, and he's never run one here at Daytona. He has been spot on today. He had his best pit stop at his last stop. He's just gotten better and better, kept the car out of trouble. Tab Boyd's done a great job helping him along.
And his boss, Dale Jr., one of the best ever at plate racing, and he said he talked to Dale to get ready, and I said, what's the best advice that Junior gave you? He said quickly, risk management.
That's not enough, Dale. What does that mean? I'll tell you what, we talked about this at break, Tony and I. Phenomenal job by him, and it goes further than just holding that wheel. It's pit road, making sure you don't slide the tires in the box, getting in and out of the box, don't speed on pit road, utilizing all the things that you have to do so, and getting through pit road and all those things. Staying out of the wrecks, yes, obviously that. Listening to your spotter, working on that, but it takes everything, and that's what puts him in this situation that he could just pull this off. It would be huge.
And you look at the average of the race, I mean, between him and the 22 car, he's probably been the most consistent in the top 10 as far as, you know, where he's been running in the running order. But the thing that I'm kind of watching in the back of my mind with that 8 car is look who's right behind him. And this is a guy that's had speed with Moffitt, but he's also had a couple guys in a bad spot in front of him, and that may be a part that gets Barry in trouble here later in the race. But and something I got thinking about this, is it a situation you think where the trucks, they have more stability in the trucks and can probably push a little more aggressive, and that's what Moffitt's doing here? It feels like that he can do the same thing that he was doing in the truck, but it's just not it may be overly aggressive for the balance of a Xfinity car?
You must not watch the truck race last night. They didn't have a whole lot of stability in that. But one thing, if you're going to win this race, you got to have a good pusher. And there's one thing that 02 is a solid pusher. He can push you to the win here tonight.
And he said during Crank It Up, if the junior motorsports cars go, I'll go with them. Let's get a report on Austin Cindric. Regan?
Well, you guys are talking about the experience of Josh Berry. Austin Cindric, I believe, is feeling pretty good about the experience. Take a listen to what he just said.
All the shuffling, or is that just... majority of it's from the 8. The 02's not helping. Working on trying to get it a little easy here, at least till we're ready. Talking to him now. Copy. His pushes are really great. Like, they're perfect for the end.
23 laps to go in the NASCAR Xfinity Series season opener at Daytona. Harrison Burton leading, and he's trying to join his dad, Jeff, who won the Cup race here in the summer of 2000. You saw it while we were away. 7th caution of the night, courtesy of Cesar Baccarella, who was running outside the top 25. And everyone is good to go on fuel here. But do you want to come down, maybe get some tires, make a chassis adjustment, help your situation for the stretch run? Baccarella is in, and Allgaier's crew was on the box as well. Notice that while we were away. Yeah. Oh, there it is, Clint.
Oh, look at them tomahawks.
How do you take your steak?
Do you got to win to get them? Bring them. I'm going to take that baby meat. You cook it right there. Medium rare right there. Yeah, let's go find him. Have us a heyday. Let's sneak down there to Victory Lane and get them babies. Tony, what do you say?
Clint, it's not beyond you to invite yourself to a party, all right? We're back to Daytona in a moment. It's going to be a big finish. New tracks, new teams, and a new champ. The 2021 NASCAR season starts in one day with the running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. It's tomorrow on Fox. Coverage begins on FS1 with race day, 11 a.m. Eastern time, pre-race show on Fox at 1. And there are your superheroes on the front row. Alex Bowman, William Byron. Byron, though, of course, crashed in the duel. In a backup car, he will have to go to the rear.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm just hoping to get through these last 18 laps up here at Tony without getting fired so I can actually come back up here with Jeff tomorrow and call that baby. It's going to be so much fun.
I'm just glad I don't have to be in the booth tomorrow. It's hard enough having one car in the race and having to talk about it, let alone having 4 cars in the race and having to talk about it.
Restart is going to happen with 17 laps to go. Single file done for tonight. No more riding the rim and hanging out.
Oh, definitely done. 18 laps to go, 17 laps. It's going to be interesting to see how we get this 20 car in front of the 18 here.
Burton takes the outside lane. It'll be his teammate Daniel Hemrick to the inside. Interesting here, if he had taken the inside lane, he would have had a teammate behind him in Ty Dillon, but he goes outside, and the pusher is going to be Austin Cindric.
And he better push hard. The key right here, they're obviously going to let him in right here and get down, but we've talked about it all night long. Brett Moffitt in this 02 car can push really hard. This could put Austin Cindric, Brett Moffitt in the lead right here, waiting on those teammates to get in line down on the bottom.
It's just the unpredictability of not knowing who's going to get the right restart here.
So you're going to see the 20 car get past the start finish right here.
Okay, so there you go. That's the plan.
You act like you've done this before.
One back 18. One back 18.
Oh, worked perfect. Look at this.
Be strong here.
His teammates are locked up. Ty Dillon giving Hemrick a big push.
both are
now
clear.
Josh Berry's right there.
We'll stay bottom. 54 is not clear now. We'll stay bottom.
Look at
Anyway,
AJ Allmendinger 3 wide on the top.
One back 8.
Big run.
Brett Moffitt jumped out there behind Cindric, going to give him a push. Allgaier is in the mix.
Now we got a race, Tony.
Yeah, we do. Don't count this outside line out yet. Took a little bit to get Moffitt and Allmendinger organized up there, but I have a feeling they're going to build momentum here and get right back to the front here.
See 3 colleague cars right in a row. They found it. I told you, you got to have your teammates. You got to have your allies. I like what I see on the outside line.
They haven't made a ton of noise today. Justin Haley's led 7 laps, but they have managed this race to perfection with 15 to go, lined up nose to tail in that outside lane and ready to strike.
And a couple times a day we've seen the outside line that's formed and got going, and that's become the dominant line. Now you got the Gibbs cars all on the inside, and they're separating each other right now.
Look at that.
Oh, there it is.
And there goes Ty Dillon. Big crash.
Didn't see that coming. Ty Dillon moved out, tried to go 3 wide. Unfortunately, collected a lot of cars right there. I don't know. Tony?
The whole complexion of this race just changed with that caution right there. Mainly from the standpoint that you took 3 teammates, 2 of them just got in the crash together. So now you got individual guys that are going to have to figure out how to do it on their own. It's going to totally change into this Justin Allgaier fast car all day. He gets caught up in it.
Remains winless at Daytona. Does Allgaier. There's Ty Dillon.
And we knew with less.
Josh Berry. So Dale Jr. will not win his 8th race at Daytona. All 4 of his cars will be out of the race. There was Riley Herbst finally had his good luck run out. He had big damage.
Man, that took some big names, big cars out right there.
That kid right there should be proud of himself, though. He did a phenomenal job of just being patient and doing the right things all day long. That was nothing of his doing, but he really deserves a lot of credit for doing a great job.
Let's go back and see what brought out the yellow flag for the 8th time tonight. First, let's listen in to 7 radio.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm done here. It won't start. All good. I'm sorry, boys. Ty just wrecked the whole field. He had to rent the deal. Gotta make a statement. So sucks. Sorry, boys.
And it's understandable.
Yeah.
Middle of the back straightaway is where it all started.
Yeah, you see him pushing hard. Everything's kind of going normal here. And then Titus made a move to the outside, went 3 wide. He almost made it. It almost worked. And it just didn't. Couldn't get clear. Tried to. Spun out. And Daniel Hemrick, he didn't do anything wrong there. I mean, it was just, he was along for the ride. Unfortunately, tore a lot of cars up right there.
And the hard part for Ty is he lost that push from Berry. You know, there's a whole car separation. He gets that run and loses him, and then just before he clears Hemrick, that's where he loses that momentum and doesn't have the push to finish that pass. He's by himself right here. He has no help, and that's just pulling him back right there, all right at one little small moment there that creates that whole thing.
See the 11 of Justin Haley involved, nowhere to go. He was looking for his 4th consecutive win on a super speedway. Would have matched Dale Jr. for the most wins in a row all time when it comes to Daytona and Talladega. Brandon Brown, who's been so strong tonight, got a piece of the action, but not done for the night, I don't think. See him there in that bright yellow 68.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's one that Ty Dillon's going to watch and wish he had a chance to do that one over again, unfortunately.
But at the same time, you can't really fault him for it. I mean, he's got to take that chance. If he thinks he's going to make a run, that's his opportunity to try to get to the lead and win this race.
That's our Ford Performance onboard camera carried by Austin Cindric. Riding here with Brandon Godovic, Sam Hunt Racing. This is Jeb Burton. And now on board with Justin Haley, his teammate, this is the Leaf Home Solutions onboard camera.
Boy, I don't know about you, but I don't miss that sound, being inside the car and hearing all that.
No, it's definitely a terrible feeling, and you're just along for the ride, Adam. You really are. There's nothing that can explain the way that feels the way it is. You're trying to keep the thing directed, but boy, once she goes the other way, you're gone.
Watch those guys in the outside lane that get through, and among them, A.J. Allmendinger. I mean, Brett Moffitt, Austin Cindric, pretty well out in front of it, but Allmendinger just able to clear it before they started sliding high, and I think the two at Myatt Snyder was also able to drive through without any damage.
Yeah, I'm all good. Sorry about that. The 8 pushed me up there, and I got loose with Daniel on my left rear. I'm sorry, guys.
Still rolling, but heavy damage. And there's the long list of drivers that felt the impact of a crash with 15 laps to go. A look from high above. It's the accident that brought out our 8th caution of the night. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for those that push the limits of possibility. Goodyear, more driven. And Ty Dillon, no doubt, pushing the limits here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely got, accordion up, got a run and took it, and tried to go to the middle. Unfortunately, just barely wasn't clear there. Tried to get down where he had to be. If he was going to be stuck in the middle right there, it'd have been straight to the back. tried to get down in the spot and just didn't work. I mean, that's the way I see it, plain and simple. Tore up a lot of cars, unfortunately, a lot of quality cars.
And you're 100% right there. I mean, from his standpoint, though, he hasn't had an opportunity to be up front. He hasn't had an opportunity to win a lot of races. In his eyes, it was the right opportunity. And it's hindsight being 2020. It's not the right time, probably, especially when you got two teammates in front of you. But for him, he's probably sitting there saying, I'm going to run third behind these two teammates, and that's not necessarily the scenario that he wanted. And it did. It caused a massive crash.
Credit to Daniel Hemrick and him. As you saw right there in that last replay, great camera footage, by the way, they never did touch. He did get loose off his left rear right there, and away he went along for the ride. But in that situation, that's what you get.
Let's hear 54 radio here.
The 8 was hitting me so hard in the left rear, it drove me up the track, and I was trying to keep from wrecking everybody, ended up wrecking everybody.
Definitely was getting a shot down the back straight. I mean, there's no question. It's just, hey, that's Daytona. How many times have we seen wrecks at Daytona? Just saw another one.
You know what's going to happen? And it has again. Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play through donations of brand new gear, including speed-themed fitness equipment for the boys and girls clubs of Volusia and Flagler counties to celebrate the Daytona 500 and help them provide active programming for their members. And there is the pre-race set. You'll see that fired up tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's race day on FS1. Over to Fox at 1 o'clock. Chris Myers manning the ship with Clint and Jeff Gordon. 10 laps remaining. First race of the year for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It's been eventful, to say the least.
Absolutely, all night long. It's been the same thing. Just hard racing. A lot of, new faces and new teams and everything else. People have been working hard.
One thing that's the same, though, is the infield always wins.
Yeah.
It's undefeated here at Daytona and every other racetrack. This was the big one, part one.
And that's cars that are coming in for scheduled pit stops. Like Clint was saying, we didn't know who was organizing what, didn't know whether it was manufacturer-based or team-based, but it did create a lot of chaos with guys behind not knowing that inside lane was pitting.
And this is what put us under caution for the 8th time tonight. Ty Dillon shooting the middle, gets away from him, and a number of cars taken out. How about this? 40-car field, there are 11 that are clean, that have not been involved in an accident.
Shocker.
We'll see if one of them can finish the deal and get a victory at the World Center of Racing. Strong finish when we return. Could this be the final restart? Will there be another caution? 8 laps remaining when we go green. Outside lane, Harrison Burton. Inside of him, Austin Cindric.
Boy, where's Kim Burton right now?
She's having a fit, I'll guarantee
Poor
you.
Jeff, he's trying to hold her down somewhere.
Landon Castle in the top 10, so is Weatherman, Tommy Joe Martins, Joe Graff Jr. Could see a big upset tonight.
Couldn't get him down right there. This is big. Brett Moffitt pushed Cindric so hard right there that it didn't give Harrison a chance to get down.
And it's going to be stalemate on that front row until the guys get organized behind him to actually give him a push to try to do something here.
If he can get AJ to give him a good enough shot, he could be able to get down the teammate. Or excuse me. I would have thought that Harrison would have tried to get down in front of Cindric right there. I guess maybe he wasn't wanting to.
By my count, 7 drivers in the top 10 have never won a race in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and we're about to have 7 laps to go. Side by side for the lead.
Who do you want for a pusher right now? Who has the better cars and what line? I mean, this is all the things that everybody's scrambling to try to, reconsider. Spotters included. Where is that best line, and where's the push going to come from? What do you think, Tony?
I think the 2 best pushers are the 2 guys side by side. That's the 2 best pushers in my opinion. But you got 2 guys in that second row with AJ Allmendinger and Brett Moffitt that both of those guys are super aggressive, especially this late in the race. If they get an opportunity, they're going to do something different. I don't think you can count on them to just do what typically we would have seen the first half of the race.
We talked out of the first of the race. Austin Cindric, Roger Penske, all the races that he's won, even at this. Oh, crash right there.
And here we go. Crash. 6 laps remaining. It's our 9th caution of the night. The 4 is Landon Castle. And that 44, Tommy Joe Martins.
Just got turned.
Yeah, it's going to need more than Blue Emu to fix that and make that feel better.
I hate it for Tommy Joe. This is an effort where they put a lot of blue-collar time in. Driver out of Mississippi, went to Ole Miss, but has made a home in the Xfinity Series. And you see the damage and maybe an even bigger problem stuck on that wet infield grass.
But guys like this, these are opportunities. When you wipe out a bunch of cars, these guys, this is their opportunity to take it easy during the race, hold it till make sure you're one of those cars surviving for the end. Big opportunity for them to try to capitalize and get a win here at Daytona, unfortunately. In the grass stuck.
Well, the same thing that got him in that position is the same thing that hurt him and eventually took him out.
Yeah, you live and die by it when you come to Daytona and Talladega. And his window net is not down. That's not an indicator that he's hurt and unresponsive. He's just trying to get that car going. He is moving around inside the race car.
Just got turned in the right rear.
And that black car, Jeb Burton. And this is going to be the onboard, the visor cam with Jeb Burton. We'll see this replay next.
He's getting a big run there.
There you go, 4th car line. Nice work.
Yeah, just the hole he was going for started closing up. He had a huge run. I can't
and at
blame
this point
him
in the
for
race,
taking
you got
that.
to try to take it.
Yeah, I can't blame him for taking that opportunity.
1 inside. You're clear. All clear.
On board, Brandon Godovic.
In line. Easy, come on.
That's what you hope for in that scenario, that the seas part like that.
Was his hand out the window waving to that guy behind him, thank you for not running me over, or please don't do it now? Man, look how close that was.
Godovic in the 26, never raced at Daytona before tonight. There you see that wet grass.
The grass always wins.
Somebody's got a lot of work to do tonight.
That is the sure bet that you can bet on at Daytona, is that infield is always going to win.
I mean, just absolutely ripped the front end of that race car off. Let's listen to Jeb Burton's radio.
Temps are good. I was there. He just came above my nose.
Yeah, you don't have to explain to us, bud. We're watching it here too, so just calm down, cool off. You're good to go. Keep doing what you're doing.
How's the nose damage?
Very minimal on TV. We'll get a closer look.
Not near as bad as the door.
I was going to say, I'm not worried about the nose right now.
I think the right side looks about as bad as that side. He was in that last caution. Got moved up into the wall on the outside.
But here's the thing, you spend so much time in the offseason building these cars to come to Daytona. You try to build the slickest car possible. And how many times have we seen cars that have got beat up in the race still have speed and still be able to maintain a good track position and be able to have a shot at the end because of the draft?
I remember Kevin's car, and I think Kurt Busch's car even in the shop there at your place, Tony. But Kevin's 07 car, man, that thing's beat up. Got the job done. They all look good in victory lane, Adam.
Doesn't matter, right? As long as you're holding the trophy.
That one right there is still in it.
And now we go to the Advent Health Care Center. Earlier caution that involved Justin Allgaier. He's out now. Here's Vince.
Tough finish for Justin Allgaier and the entire junior motorsports team tonight. What happened in that situation, Justin?
Oh, I think guys just trying to be really aggressive, especially with that many laps to go. You know, we knew that the business was going to pick up, but it's a shame. You know, our brand professional agriculture Camaro was pretty good. I think we got a little bit of damage there and was holding us back a little bit towards the end of the race. I thought our car was one of the stronger ones at the beginning, and just unfortunately, guys trying to make moves that veterans that know better and making dumb decisions. So, you know, we'll regroup. We'll go next week and come back here to the road course and try to put it in victory lane just like we tried to do today. But happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there, and thankfully safe race cars are being built at Junior Motorsports, and can't thank those guys and the safety partners enough, and we'll keep at it.
Tough night for Justin, 34 years old, from Riverton, Illinois. He'll go home to his family and wife Ashley, expecting their second child in May. So we offer our congratulations on that.
All right. Wasn't all bad for him. Saw him win a race over at Volusia the other night. Had him at a Gator. Little Gator got a big Gator. I watched that. Saw it on the old laptop.
And that's a big week. If you can go to Volusia during Winter Nationals and come out of there. So when you win one night, you get a small Gator. And then if you win the overall points, you get the big Gator.
Well, I don't think he got the overall, but he did win that night. Maybe he was a little Gator.
Little Gator got a little Gator?
I don't know. He got a Gator. I saw a Gator on my laptop. Happened. Trust me.
When Ty Dillon crashed a moment ago, they went a lap down repairing damage. He gets the free pass here, so that's big for him despite the damage. And we could be looking here at an overtime finish, guys. If you're going to win tonight at Daytona, you're going to earn it. We're going to overtime, guys. A little free racing from here in Central Florida. Austin Cindric out front, Harrison Burton, A.J. Allmendinger, Brett Moffitt, and Myatt Snyder up there. Let's listen in on A.J. Allmendinger.
And they got some beef in Victory Lane. If you don't mind, I'd love to have some of that so we can cook it on a Nutrient Solutions grill.
You got me.
They'll invite you down to
I'm going to
share.
invite myself. They didn't have to. I don't need an invite anymore. At this point, I just looked at Twitter when we were on commercial break there, and every single follower I have sent pictures of big tomahawks and big steaks. And Tony, man, I want one.
I remember when you used to worry about driving. Now you just worry about eating.
I tell you what, I like what I see. We still got a heck of a race right here. Cindric winning. I was going to this when that last wreck happened. Roger Penske's got a shot right here, and I think Austin Cindric, you know, he could do. Hey, look right there. Look at us
There we
on
are.
TV. By the way,
You're like producer, director, analyst, play-by-play.
Artie just
you got it
throws
all.
that up there. Hey, look up real quick. You're like, you know, deer staring in the headlights.
Hey, congratulations to Ben Rhodes. Won the season opener last night for the Camping World Truck Series. That race finished in overtime. We're going to overtime here. Tell me who is your favorite for this little two-lap shootout.
I like Austin Cindric. I said it at the top of the show. Opportunity for Roger Penske. Opportunity for him to do that for Roger Penske. That'd be pretty cool to deliver something that Roger Penske doesn't have.
I agree. I
Cindric.
think that Ford of Cindric is strong. It's literally, I feel like, going to be dictated by that second or third row and how those guys get organized on the restart. But like I said, you've got Allmendinger and Moffitt that are sitting there, and both of those guys aren't going to care about helping those two. They want to help themselves try to get a shot at winning this race.
You just asked two race car drivers something intelligent. That doesn't. We don't know who's going to win.
And it's a two-lap shootout, right? So when we go green, they'll do a lap. If the leader can get back to the white flag, the next flag will end the race, whether it's the caution or they make it to the checkers. If we get a caution before the white flag, we'll re-brack them, do it all again.
And that's such a good point. Everybody always asks, what do you want to do, you know, leading at Daytona, or you want to be the second, third place car? Where do you want to be when the white flag is? I want to be in the lead just in case that caution comes out. You never know. Always want to be in the lead, right, Tony?
Absolutely.
It's overtime at Daytona for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, brought to you by Credit One Bank.
On you tighter.
Inside line, big push.
Still outside. 20 has nothing. Still outside bumper. You're clear. Dinger's not. Our head helper's one back. Dinger's not clear. Dinger's not clear.
Shoving Cindric to the lead.
You're clear. One behind Stinger.
I can't help to think Brett Moffitt in that 02 car, as good as that car is pushing, won't be a factor in this thing. That's going to be a factor in the outcome of this race. Keep an eye on the 02 car.
But look at Allmendinger and Burton sitting there getting a big run. So now, if you're Austin Cindric, you have got to watch that mirror. You've got to listen to your spotter. You have to protect that line and be ready for any run. And here it comes.
Whoop. If I'm Harrison Burton, I get back up in front of that too. That's exactly right. Good move.
Coming back to the white flag. And once we get that, the next flag will end it.
Whoa. Hold on to it.
Wow.
Big push. You know it's coming. If
One
he can
lap
hold
to
on
go.
to it.
Cindric still leading. That's Harrison Burton right behind him. Third in line is Brett Moffitt. He's got a Truck Series championship he would love to win at Daytona.
Now it's just a matter of if anybody can generate enough momentum to give anybody a push to do something. Here comes Moffitt.
Here it comes. Big block out of Austin Cindric. Great job. Get up there. Oh, there's your opportunity.
Still
Brett
not over
Moffitt's
yet.
Turn.
Still not over yet. Moffitt has a shot at this still.
Look at Jet Burton coming in the outside lane.
He's going to need a big push up there, Brett Moffitt, and that 10 car's got a lot of damage on it. I just don't
Here
see
it
a
comes,
huge
though.
push.
Here it comes.
And here they come, back to the start-finish line, through the tri-oval. Cindric is out front. He is a champion, and now he's a winner at Daytona.
Yes! 2021, let's go! Dude, you are incredible. That was awesome. Coleman, holy cow. Thank you guys for all the hard work you guys put in. Thank you. God, that was awesome. Check a box. Check a box there, Austin.
Picking up right where he left off, right, Adam?
He won the championship. They went to Roger Penske. Roger said, you proved you can do it. Now let's go do it again. And they picked up right where they left off.
And winners keep winning. That's just what they do.
Started on the pole. And in case you were wondering, the last time a pole sitter won the Xfinity race at Daytona, summer 2009. Clint Boyer was the man that got it done. Congratulations, Austin Cindric. The Beef, it's What's for Dinner 300 is complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And the champ, Austin Cindric, who had an unbelievable restart and won in overtime at Phoenix in November, claiming the series title, does it in overtime here in Central Florida. And he gets the captain his first Xfinity trophy here at this place. I asked him about Penske having never won here. He said, I just want to win at a plate track. He's done it now, Regan.
He has definitely done it now, Adam. Austin, all the perfect moves at the end of that race. You start the season the same way you finished 2020.
Oh my goodness, what an awesome race. What a really fast Verizon 5G Ford Mustang. Unbelievable effort by everyone at Team Penske. Obviously coming off a lot of momentum winning that championship last year, but nothing's guaranteed, and keep working hard. Congrats to my man Coleman on the roof. He puts in just as much effort or more than I do, so proud of him, and try and go do it again tomorrow, I guess.
Picture in the care center. You said you're sick of seeing it. You don't have to see that tonight.
Hey, I'm just excited that I get to come back here tomorrow and run in front of a great group of people. Awesome that we have fans here. Excited for the Great American Race tomorrow.
Austin Cindric, your Daytona Xfinity winner. Vince?
Brett Moffitt was a career best second place. Anything you could have done differently to be in the other position instead of second?
Start up front. I don't know. It's with how few cars we had, the energy runs weren't huge. So, the 10 did an awesome job pushing me. Thank you to him. Just once the 22 got out front, anytime I get within a car length, I just push him farther forward. But I can't thank this Auer Motorsports group enough, Chris Auer, everyone on this team that has worked really hard to turn a very small team into a very successful team in a short amount of time. And once again, for Freight Auctions being on board. And I know this isn't our last race together. I love our partnership and can't wait for more.
Brett Moffitt, the runner-up tonight at Daytona.
And behind him, Vince, impressive effort for the Burton cousins. Harrison was fourth, Jeb Burton fifth, A.J. Allmendinger completes the top five. Guys, this was a fun night. Your final thoughts from the Daytona Xfinity race?
Well, I actually got to talk a lot more than I thought I was going to, but it was a great race. It was a lot of fun to watch. With all these young guys, it's kind of unpredictable. You don't know exactly what they're going to do, so it was fun to watch this and fun to be a part of it with you guys. Appreciate the invite.
I loved it. Loved everybody, every part of it. These kids put on a show. They always do. It's fun to come up here with Adam. Smoke, You were fun. Sorry you had to be over there. You know. Hopefully
Hey, I
you
got a
can come
nice
back
condo
over
over here, bud. I'm happy with my room.
I know it's not really fair. He had a condominium over there, but nonetheless, these guys put on a heck of a show. I love that finish right there. I knew, man, that 0-2, he was a force to be reckoned with. He was going to be a big part of that finish. And then Austin Cindric, we called it from the top. One, how would you like to deliver that to Roger Penske? That'd be pretty cool. And then he's got a chance at it again tomorrow. Cannot wait for that, Adam.
Quick thought on the 500 from both of you.
I think it's going to be a great race. I mean, looking at the qualifying races, a lot of action. And when you put all of them together, totally different ball games. So I think we're going to see a great race.
Oh, absolutely. It's been that way. Watching those duels, learn so much. You know, it's interesting to have this perspective on it. You know, I've always been behind the wheel, and you can see so much, you know, out of a different lens up here. Everybody's got a shot at that thing. I guarantee you there's a lot of good cars. Denny going for 3 in a row. That's going to be big. Bubba's got a fast hot rod. Looking forward to seeing it.
Coverage on FS1 11 over to Fox. You saw the graphic, 1 o'clock Eastern time. The Xfinity Series has put race number 1 of the season in the books, and it's Austin Cindric who wins it on a wild night. For our entire Fox crew, I'm Adam Alexander. Let's go to basketball Providence and DePaul.